You ever wonder what makes a great gamer? Great gaming is not only about cheering on our teammates, but also being there to pick us up when we're down.
Guardian down!
Have you ever played Destiny with a fellow Guardian and thought to yourself, I wonder what their life is like? Questions like these spark conversation, friendship, and community. We're a Destiny 2 podcast that focuses on three things: community, news around the gaming industry and Destiny 2, and thought-provoking topics in the game. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 240 of Guardian Downcast, the Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd, the Gator, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and the Destiny franchise, and we talk about it. In this episode, we ask, are you ready to play some more Crucible? I am. Well, today, I have another brand new guest of the show. He's an active member of our community and part of our moderation team, in fact. He's been actively welcoming our new members and helping them get into clans and also, how to use our Discord effectively. I've gamed with him in Destiny 2 as well. And I'm sorry, but I do not know a lot about you, sir, and I can't wait to find out more. I'm such a bad friend. But anyway, please welcome TheScarletKm. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I heard, we talked a little bit. I know a little bit about you, but you're one of our newer mods and one of our newer members of our community, but you've been so involved in our community, man. It's just awesome to hear. In today's show, we're going to hear more about TheScarletKm. I'll then put him through the fastest interview in 2 minutes via our fast fire question and answer segment we call The Speed Run. We'll be discussing the massive TWAB blog post from Bungie. As always, we'll answer questions from our community, and I think we have some for Scarlet as well tonight. And then we're going to add some music to our Guardian Downcast show playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. The links are in our show description down below. Finally, we have another Scum Death's Corner. Oh, and did I mention Laz might be calling in as well? Yeah, he's got some more grief. So without further ado, let's roll. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. There are several ways you can contact us. First, you can find us on X at Guardian_D_cast, where we also post our newly released episodes every week. Or you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what pics our podcast guests want to share with you guys. We have a brand new website. Just visit GuardianDowncast.com, where you'll find all of our contact info, leave us a voicemail, give our show a rating and review, search for any episodes, or even give back to our community. Also, don't forget to sign up for future updates to the show, where we'll also have some random drawings throughout the year, and you may win a gift card or even some GDC merch. You can also follow our Guardian Downcast shows song playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. We post those links in our show description every week, so you can follow along with us. And finally, you can send us an email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. So check us out, and later, Guardian. Well, Mr. ScarletKm, like I said, man, I really don't know a lot about you. You're fairly new to our community. I would say fairly new. I would say we've probably been here the last 8 months, I think. Is that correct?
It's actually been over 2 years.
Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible friend. I'm so bad, man. I see you in chat. I see you in chat when I'm streaming. I see you in the Discord helping people out and stuff, and I just have really not really gotten to know you much. So let me start with this. Where are you from, and what do you do what do you do for work, man?
I live in Amish country, Ohio.
Amish country?
Yep, I live amongst the Amish, work with them.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Kind of annoying to drive around here because you have to avoid buggies and bikes. And it's not just regular bikes, like these are the electric bikes that go like 25 miles an hour, so you go to pass somebody in a 25 mile an hour zone.
Huh.
And before you know it, you're actually going 40.
What exactly does your work involve? I mean,
work in a custom cabinet shop.
Okay.
I run an edge bander. We do residential. We do commercial work.
So you do hand-built cabinets?
Yeah.
You and Marcus.
Our commercial work.
You know Marcus from the Working Class Nerds podcast?
Oh, yeah.
He's a cabinet maker.
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You know him. Okay, good. So explain exactly how the process works when you're making cabinets, and where do you fit in that process?
Well, the first day, it goes to a nested-based CNC, which is basically just like, has like a 4 foot by 10 foot spoil board.
Okay.
Loads the board on, cuts it out, puts all the dowel holes and the shelf holes and the back grooves in it. Then the next day it comes over to me on the edge bander and I put the edge banding on it. I don't know if you've like ever taken a close look at like cabinets in commercial areas.
I'm trying to think.
Those doors aren't actual like hardwood.
Really?
They're laminate covered plywood or flake board.
I've seen the flake board. Are you talking about the plastic strip that covers the raw board on the end?
Yes.
Okay. I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Very cool. I learn something every day, man. Wow.
We do a lot of like big stuff. Like we did Progressive Field, their suites there. We did their gift shop.
Now,
and then we do a lot of like.
Well, I was going to ask you,
what?
Do you work with real wood, or do you use just the waffle board or the particle board?
The commercial stuff, most of it is just the particle board.
Okay.
But our residential with like the face frames is like hardwood, and we use plywood with veneer on top of it.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I've always been fascinated with stuff. My dad makes cabinets. I mean, he's a full woodworking shop and everything. It's the coolest thing. But I never got into it. It never rubbed off on me. All the other stuff he knows kind of did. But I'd say I'm handy in a lot of things, but not really deep into everything. You know, as far as I don't know what a pro knows, but I know the basics. Cabinetry, man, that is something I've always been kind of fascinated with. So it's a CNC machine that does all the cutouts for you. That's pretty neat.
Yep.
And
I actually started out there in 2007, but I got laid off twice from the same place.
Wow.
And then I'm going on 10 years now out there back.
So what's life like in this area? You don't have to tell people specifically, but in this area of Ohio, what's the average day like there?
Kind of boring, actually.
I know what's going on.
Especially in the wintertime, because you can't really go outside, because by the time I get home from work, it's starting to get dark out because I work 4/10s.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And it's cold outside.
Yeah, but you get 3 days off. That's awesome.
That is nice.
It is nice, yeah. How did you find our community, by the way?
You really want to know the answer to that question?
Yeah, I am. I'm curious. I like to ask everyone because I like to know where people are hearing about us and joining us.
I actually heard, I think it was you and Hazel were both on Two Titans and a Hunter.
Okay.
And then after that, I checked you guys out, and I've been here ever since.
Pretty cool. Damn, I can't believe you've been here 2 years, man. Jeez Louise, man.
I think November 1st was 2 years.
Don't tell anybody, okay? That's embarrassing. Oh my God. What was your, I'm curious what your earliest video game moment is. What was your console of choice when you were growing up? I
remember the regular Nintendo was the first experience I had.
Uh-huh.
I mean, after that, I had played Atari, but that was at one of my friend's house.
Uh-huh.
But the first one we owned was the regular Nintendo.
Now, did you go N64 and up, Super Nintendo and all that, or did you go the PlayStation route once PlayStation 1 came out? Or did you go both?
We went Super Nintendo, 64.
Gotcha.
I think we had a PlayStation at one point.
Nice. Any favorite games you remember playing back then?
It was mainly just Tecmo Bowl and Mario.
It's just the beginning, man. Tecmo Bowl is just the beginning of really cool sports games. How'd you find Destiny?
COVID. So if you have to play with me, you can blame COVID.
2019?
There's a lot of free time. 2020.
Okay.
It was like late 2020. I was getting bored with the game I was playing. A couple friends suggested I come play Destiny with them.
Uh-huh.
I did that, and then I think that was September, October when I picked that game up.
Okay. All right. So you did not play Destiny 1 then?
No, I came in right before Beyond Light.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Funny enough, I actually downloaded Destiny 2 in June or July of 2020, but it took so long to load in, I thought it was just a busted game, so I uninstalled it.
You're flying forever?
Yep. I was like, well,
yeah, it does that.
This isn't going to work out.
Now, okay, I'm trying to think back because numbers are hard. Late 2020, does that the years they sunsetted the original Destiny 2 story, or were you able to play the original Destiny 2 story where Gaul came and all that?
Yeah, I never got to see that.
Oh, man. See, that just irritates me. It just irritates me that new players can't go through that campaign because I thought it was really good.
I wish I could have experienced that, but I was a Call of Duty snob, and I was playing a lot of Assassin's Creed around that time.
So you weren't a Halo player. You were a Call of Duty guy?
I played Halo a little bit when it was just on the regular Xbox and we had to do LAN parties in order to play with friends.
See, yeah. I dabbled with Halo 2, I want to say. Yeah, Halo 2. I played the campaign on Halo 4. The problem is once you jump into a game later in its life, it's really tough. Jeez, that's pot called Nickel Black, isn't it? You join into a game and you don't really know the past story. So I guess that's kind of what new players are going through right now. It's kind of hard to get motivated. When Cortana was saying this and that, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I didn't know what history Cortana had with Master Chief. I never got to know any of that stuff because I didn't play the earlier campaigns and the earlier Halo games. But I was like you, man. I played Call of Duty multiplayer. That was my thing for years and years and years. And then here came Destiny. Okay.
So out of nowhere and smacked us in the face.
It did. Obviously, you're married. Do you have any kids?
I have 3 kids.
Oh, wow. How old are your kids?
They like to push my buttons. See, my oldest is going to be 12 in March. And then I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh, boy. Mrs. Scarlet must be busy. Yeah. My goodness. 2 years old. Oof.
He will climb on everything. We have to stack our dining room chairs up so he can't get on the table.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let me pull some questions from the Discord here. I'm going to kind of pepper them in here and there this time around. First one is from Zebrak. Question for Scarlet: on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk are you?
This is because of Priceless. She always calls me drunk, even if I'm not. So that's a -10. Okay. Because I don't think you can get drunk on Mountain Dew.
Gotcha. There you go, Priceless. And Priceless told me that because she's not in Discord, that King Tut was the one who entered a lot of questions for her. So I'll go with the next one from King Tut. Question for Scarman. Priceless would like to know, what's your fascination with rocking out with your chicken against a wall? Is that the chicken emote?
I don't know.
Is that the chicken emote? Were you petting the chicken?
It's the current. Yep.
Okay.
Petting the chicken. It's just to mess with Priceless because she becomes very, I don't know how to explain it, but flustered.
Oh, okay. Easily flustered. That doesn't sound like Princess. She was clowning around last night when we were playing Crucible and just Gator was not in the mood. I love how I talk about myself in the third person. I was not in the mood, and the grumpy Gator came out. Oh my God. Yeah, she likes to clown around in Crucible, that's for sure.
Sure does.
Yeah, she does. Danger Powers had a question for you here. Question for the One Shade of Red. We ever going to go to Top Golf? I haven't forgotten.
Heck yeah, it was just difficult to make a time for that with 3 kids, and I live about an hour and a half away from Top Golf. But yeah, definitely. I definitely want to get together and do that. And I haven't forgotten either.
All right. Phi the Saint has a question for you. Question for the coolest Titan in Guardian Downcast 2. What is your favorite encounter in Deepstone Crypt and why?
You have to say Chaos Room.
Oh, Chaos Mode? Like falling on the ship?
The 3rd encounter.
Yes. We call it Chaos
Just
Mode.
because it's complete chaos, even if you... Because when we take new people through, we do a buddy system where either Ronan, Mark, or I will start off with one of the buffs.
Uh-huh.
Or augments, I think that's what it's called.
Right.
And then we'll have a buddy who, when we need to deposit it, they'll pick it up.
Okay.
But the most one I've had in that encounter is just straight chaos, where we just start it and then we just go.
Grab and go, man. That's yeah, we've done that so many times. Yeah. Let's see. Ronan Red Lion has a question for you. Question for the Enlightened Descendant. What are some other memorable achievements that you've accomplished in gaming?
There's nothing I can think of other than getting Descendant, and my Enlightenment titles is really mostly what I was doing before this was just regular PvP and Call of Duty, or jumping off of buildings and knifing somebody in the neck.
Okay, I got you. Now, did you play with a group in Call of Duty, or were you a solo?
Solo. Every now and then I'd play with friends.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot more fun when I had, like, after Modern Warfare 2, maybe Black Ops 2 or 3, everybody just kind of fizzled out.
Okay. What is your main? Is it a Titan, Warlock, or Hunter?
Technically, it's a Titan, but ever since Lightfall came out, I find that I'm playing Hunter a lot more.
Do you do bounties?
Sometimes.
That sounds like a weak answer. That sounds weak. So you don't do
Not as often as I should.
All right. If you do at least the gunsmith ones, I'll be happy, because you get something for those. You know, you get actual material. But all right, no problem. What made you choose a Titan? Why a Titan main?
Like, when I first started, I actually picked up a Hunter.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, I wonder what this Titan would be like. I tried the Titan, and I just stuck with it because I just enjoyed the movement, jumps, glide.
Titan's movement is very smooth. I gotta admit, being a Warlock floof, I love the fact that Titans can glide a lot faster, and especially forward than a Warlock can. I definitely miss that, and when I play my Titan character. What activities do you prefer the most? Or what's your normal average day in Destiny? What are you playing?
I'm usually playing Raids or Crucible.
Okay, good man. Good man. So we're going to have a good talk tonight then. Excellent. All right. If you had one weapon in your vault that you refuse to delete, in other words, if Dado came knocking and he's ready to start deleting stuff from your vault, what one weapon would you refuse to delete at all costs? And I'm talking legendary. We know you can delete all your exotics and get them back, but a legendary weapon.
Probably my Amit.
Okay, you're crafted
with incandescent. Yeah. Yep. I actually have 2 crafted ones, one for PvP, one for PvE.
Look at this, man. Good man. I was going to ask you why you had incandescent on a PvP roll. Now I get it. You have one for each. Outstanding. That took some time to do, man. Outstanding. Because crafting 2 weapons, you have to start all over again. It takes a lot of materials and glimmer and time if you want to, get kills to level up your weapons. Yeah. Good man. All right. Basically, NSL has a question. Question for the Scar. Do you drink for Priceless or because of Priceless? Love you guys both.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that'd be your answer. Question from Sith Daddy Fresh. Question for Scarlos. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I guess it's from Monty Python. What's that?
After intensive research, it is 20.1 miles an hour.
Okay.
Or if it's a European swallow, it's 24 miles per hour.
Okay. All right. He has another question.
And by intensive, I mean I Googled it.
Okay. I got you. He also has another question. Question for Newt Scarmander. If you went to Hogwarts, what house would you be in? What house would you put Cater in? And could you beat the rest of Guardian Downcast in the Tri-Wizard tournament? Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I used to be.
Okay.
I know what he's talking about, but funny you should ask this question because one time when I was down in Virginia Beach for my best friend's wedding, some girls like pulled up and they got out of their Jeep and was just like, "You look like Harry Potter. Can we take a picture with you?" So, yeah, that happened. I was like, I don't look like Harry Potter. At the time, I hated Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but if I went to Hogwarts, see, I've actually taken that quiz on Potterworld or whatever that website was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got put into Gryffindor.
Okay.
I think I'd put you in Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. Come on, man. Hufflepuff. I don't know about that. I'm not saying, I'm not a dark arts type of guy, but Hufflepuff? All right. I guess. I like Slytherin. I just know I would never fit in there. I'm just not that kind of guy.
You know, that's the one I wanted to say for myself, but that's not me, so.
It's not. Slytherin's not me. I'm just not that type of person. Could you beat the rest of Guardian Downcast in the Tri-Wizard tournament? I guess it was his final part of that question.
Now, I have a question for this. We make it like GDC 1, GDC 2, GDC 3 versus each other?
That's a good idea.
Because if it's like that, then yeah, GDC 2 would wipe the floor.
Okay. All right. Let's get another one here. This one is from Slammin'. Question for the captain. How did you rise to the rank of captain so quickly? Did it feel like an arduous journey or more that you are a natural at it? What's he referring to here?
Oh, slamming. One night I was playing with him and Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get going, but they kept playing. And Slammer didn't realize I had left. And then somebody with the name Captain Ball Slapper joined. And he didn't realize that we were matchmaking and made the joke to Cloud that, "Oh, is this Scarlet's alt account?"
Oh my God. Jeez. He also says, question for Scarlet. Why is Cloud so delusional? Oh, he crossed it out. Never mind. I know you'll just say because...
No. I'm going to answer that question.
Oh, okay.
Slayman, I've always been told that there are questions in the world that we will never know the answer to. Okay. Once you figure that out, will you let me know also?
All right. Another question. What character in the game do you see yourself like the most and why? Of all the NPCs. Or it doesn't have to be NPC. It could be any character in Destiny 2.
I really have no idea.
Okay.
So I'm quiet. I'm shy. I don't really talk much.
So you're a crow.
No. God, no. Crow's a bitch. I'm not a bitch.
You know, I've been reading a lot about Crow's ghost. And I kind of feel a little bit for the guy now, at least. I know a little bit more of his background, so I've been reading a lot of lore about him. But, okay. You don't have to answer that question. Another question here is, give me one of your favorite moments, gaming moments from Destiny 2.
Probably my third time going through Deep Stone Crypt.
Okay.
Because that was the first time I ran with this community. And it was a HUDless.
Oh, in other words, Ronan was in there.
Yeah, it was Ronan.
Jeez.
I think Sin and Kingsley.
Ronan has to do everything HUDless. I don't understand what that fascination is with that, but okay. How did you do in the HUDless?
Well, I was mostly just ad clear and damage.
Now, he keeps telling me it's like an all new experience. Do you agree with that, or is it just more difficult to know what's going on?
It's completely different experience.
Really?
We actually did this DSC like 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
once we finished our enlightenment, we were just like, we need just something to chill. So we went into DSC without our HUDs on.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, and we done Vault of Glass HUDless also.
Oh my God. Yeah, he keeps telling me I need to try doing it. So maybe we'll have to think about it.
Definitely should. It's a heck of a time.
Oh, I told him I would. I told him I'd try it out and see how it goes. Hey, Scarlett, before we get into the rest of the interview here, what have you been doing this week in Destiny, man? Or what have you been doing this week in gaming, period?
Well, mainly, I've just been playing Warframe. Last night, we did some Crucible, and that's about all I've been doing. Just trying to figure out Warframe, because there's a lot to figure out in that game.
Yeah.
And then just my normal Crucible Thursday nights with the crew.
I think I joined in last night late. Once it got later in the night, I ran my 3 rounds of comp to get my Belisarius pulse rifle, and I did not get a great roll. So, oh well, I try again next week. I did play the final week of PvP League in the Potato Thumbs Discord. This is their Potato Thumbs podcast, PvP League. Season 2, by the way, is coming up, I believe, on March 11th. They're going to have it on Monday nights. I just want to make sure everybody knew, if you are interested in playing in the PvP League, they are accepting entries right now. And just go to the Potato Thumbs podcast Discord, and you'll see where it says PvP League. Just go right in there, and you can message everyone directly if you want to bring a team. It's a team of 3, and I believe they play survival. So it'll be Monday night starting on March 11th. So if you're interested in doing that, make sure you let them know something before then. Actually, we went up against the same team we did last week, which was Mr. Sweaty Spooks, Native Raider, and Coderson. Afterwards, like I said, we played some comp. Had some good games before calling it a night, thanks to Dimwee. He joined Warcry and I afterwards, and man, that guy can slay. That guy is good. Oh, my Lord. But yeah, we went on a pretty good winning streak in comp, too. Like I said, I'll be trying to get the another roll of the Belisarius next week. Looking for a certain role, and I haven't quite gotten it yet. I did see a new movie. Shh. Movie review. There it is. I did see The Land of Bad. This is starring Russell Crowe. He stars as a drone operator who protects a special ops unit on the ground. And of course, as most movies, chaos ensues. The plan goes wrong, and Crowe basically goes above and beyond to try to keep them alive. And you're looking through a drone a lot part of this movie, so it was kind of unique the way it showed up. But it also showed how powerful these little drones are, man. It is crazy. I thought it was a good movie. Not a memorable movie as like Zone of Interest I saw the week before, but it's worthy of a watch. I gave it 3.5 stars. Good, but not great. But worth a watch. I still want to see Bob Marley One Love. I've already pre-ordered my tickets for Dune Part 2. I'm not going to see it on opening night because I'll be podcasting, but I will be seeing it on Saturday. So, Saturday, March 2nd. So I will be letting you know. And I tell you what, from what I've heard so far, people are saying this one is better than the first one. So I cannot wait. TV show wise, I'm watching The Floor with on Fox with Rob Lowe. I Can See Your Voice. I have yet to watch the final part of True Detective. My wife and I have just been busy. She's had a lot of school stuff this week. So we're going to watch the final part of that this week. I'll let you guys know next week on next week's show how that turned out. Masters of the Air with Austin Butler. I'll tell you what, Tom Hanks did a great job on this, and Steven Spielberg too, both involved in this. And it's still going on, by the way. I just watched the latest episode last night. It's just really a gripping World War II era, talks about the bomber squadrons. Now, the part that I watched last night is what happens when the pilots have to parachute into Germany because their plane's, destroyed. It's pretty gripping. So really well done, really well written. I really liked it. I just released our first video Patreon content this week. So if you're a patron member and haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out your email or wherever you get your notifications for new content. Thanks to Nico, aka Jersey, for entertaining us with that little extra bit of video content. I have a video portion of the last roundtable episode. I got to admit, man, I have had some really great, probably the best feedback I've ever gotten from a show on our roundtable episode last week with Admiral Nips, Trash Panda, and Roan Red Lion. And from what I've heard, people are really loving this new format. So I already have the next roundtable lined up. It'll be in mid to late March next month. So, but what I'm asking of you guys is if there's something you want us to talk about on the roundtable, there is a channel in our Discord called Submit Stories. It's in the pod section of our Discord. Make sure you enter in some ideas or some stories that you might want us to talk about. I've already pulled a couple stories from there that we might possibly be talking about in the March episode. So I really want to see what you guys want to hear. So if there's something you want to have us talk about in the roundtable episodes, or you're interested in coming on the show possibly and talking about it yourself, submit your stories in our channel, and you might get invited to come on the show. So I did not do my wish token this week for Mara because 2 reasons. It's blind well. You have to kill 1,600 enemies, and it's not based on team kills. You have to, from what I've heard, you have to actually get the kill on the enemy. So this is going to be just chaotic trying to get all these kills. So the fact that there's no time limit on this stuff, I grabbed the mission, and I just really haven't had a whole lot of time to do it this week. So, I might knock that out next week, but I've heard nightmares that it's been really hard to get this one this week. So I put that one on hold. Anything else you've been doing this week, Scarlett? Do you want to talk about before we move on?
Not this week, but Metalmark, Ronin, and Crisis. We all finished our Enlightenment idol for Garden like 2 weeks ago.
Outstanding, man. Good job. Very nice.
Went from being very intimidated by that raid to the Thursday night before we finished it. We went in early because we wanted to come in with fresh heads for our last triumph that we needed. Mm-hmm. And we made it from the very beginning of the raid to the final boss in less than 35 minutes.
That's really good. Good job, man. Good job to all you guys. That's fantastic.
It was a lot of fun. Now we get to finish helping Salt and Hut finish out their title for it.
That's great. I love how everyone helps everyone out. Getting stuff done in the Discord and the community. That's awesome. All right, good deal.
Salt actually helped me with Descendant also.
Yeah, he's good in PvE as well. Yeah. We all think he just plays PvP. No, he plays PvE stuff too. And he used to really be hardcore into it for a while there. I think he's been split playing other games now, but it's good to take a break. A lot of people are taking breaks this time of year. All right, well, let's get back to the interview here. Got some more questions for you. If Bungie assigned a small but versatile dev team to just you're in charge, what would you work on for Destiny 2 in the future?
Theater mode.
Oh, hell yes, dude. We're on the same wavelength.
It'd be so nice to go back and actually watch, see person who killed you's perspective, or watch how you're playing and just survey the field instead of just being in your first person view.
Here's another thing too. This would be an awesome way to know if you were playing against a cheater that was using cheats or hacks, because you could go and go over the shoulder on him or her and actually see what's happening when they kill you. And if you see anything funny, you'll know, well, that could have been a cheat or a hack. Yeah. I so want theater mode. I don't think we'll ever see it, but it's just one of those wishes that if it ever did happen, I would just be ecstatic. I would use it all the time. Talk about a way to improve in Crucible. It is such a good tool. I remember, I think it was Call of Duty Black Ops that first introduced the theater mode, and it was so much fun to use, man. So much fun. I even made playback videos using the theater mode. It was awesome. Yeah, I agree, man. Theater mode would be a big thing to add to Destiny 2.
Would be. great addition.
Question from Mr. Running Red Line again. Question for my fellow wavelength gamertag. Mrs. Ronan asks, if there was another genre of music and musical instrument you could learn, what would they be?
I'd love to learn classical. Because I play guitar.
Okay.
And I love metal music. The kind that people say is just noise.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to learn the piano.
Okay. Very similar, actually, in treble clef. The thing with piano is you got to read bass and treble clef at the same time. That just blew my mind when I thought about taking a piano. Well, King Tut has some more in here, and I have a feeling this is from Princess, but I'll indulge him. King Tut, question for the one and only Scarlet. If you had to complete a flawless dungeon or humanity as we know it would cease to exist, which two people from this list are you bringing? Number 1, a new light with a stick drift from hell. Number 2, a stranger from Craigslist who has been posting on the missed connections pages for at least a decade. Number 3, your local friendly Walmart greeter. Number 4, priceless cloud, scared face. Number 5, F this. I'll just uninstall my game. Goodbye, cruel world.
Thanks for that one, Tut. Probably the new light and my Walmart greeter.
There you go. You could teach them how to use a controller. It might take a while, but you could do it. There's a lot of buttons on a controller, but you could do it in time. All right. Thanks, Tut. Question. This is from Zebrak. Question for Scarlet. Who's better player, Cloud or Briggs?
Cloud? How many times have you beat Briggs in your 1v1s?
Question asked, question answered, right? Question for Scarlato. This is, I don't know if this is Princess or King Tut. Do you remember the time Cloud tried looking for the word gullible? Gullible.
A funny story about this is we were doing our Crucible on Thursday nights. Mm-hmm. And I said something about gullible being written on her ceiling. And she says, it's just white. I was like, you did not just look up. You did not. Oh, and I didn't only get her with that once. I got her with it twice.
Oh, my God. She's adorable. What are you going to do? Princess. All right. Song Sword Hero has a question for you. Question for Scarlet. So I have got to play PvP with you guys for the last couple weeks now. Does it make you better getting razzed by Princess all the time? Also, really enjoy playing with you guys.
I wouldn't say it makes me make me better, but it's pretty funny when she's on the bottom of the leaderboard and I'm like 2 or 3 people above her.
She won't give up the glaive. That's the problem.
No, she won't.
She won't give it up. Monkey just totally, Monkey. Totally spoiled her with the glaive. Now she won't put the dang thing down. And once people realize she's coming at her with a glaive, they just adjust.
We actually just got a rerun tonight before
what?
I hopped on here.
She did? With a
Yep.
Really?
Oh. Glaive, and I believe it was an Austringer that she had just crafted.
Oh my God. Good for her.
She told me I better tell you, and I was like, no, I'm not telling you.
We ran. Nice. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
Let's see. King Tut has some more here. A question for Scar. When you were, I guess, rocking out with your chicken out back in the metal band days, what was one of your fondest memories?
I have no idea. That was like 17 years ago.
I was going to say, I got to get to the bottom of this. Were you in a metal band? Were you in a rock band?
I was.
So would you play lead guitar for a rock band?
Both pretty much played the same thing, just one went to a different octave.
Right. So you had dual
We did
guitars.
a lot of yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
We would just harmonize together. It was a lot of fun.
That sounds like fun.
But on memories, there's just too many of them to really zone in on one.
King Tut again. Question for Scarman from Priceless. Hey, Scarman. Any giant crabs coming your way?
No, I quit playing Elden Ring.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, this must be an inside joke.
I think...
I remember that crab, though.
Well, yeah. Holy shit, crab!
I'm thinking about going back and playing that game. I saw the trailer for the next expansion coming out, and I'm like, man, I got to get back in there and play. I love playing against those bosses. There was a big learning curve, man. And the thing is, you had to really rank up before going up against a lot of these bosses. So I was just a little lowly, barely leveled up guy, and I just got wiped pretty quick when I jumped in there. But it's part of the grind, I guess. Part of the game, right? So, King Tut, question for Scarlet: what does "drill, baby, drill" mean?
I was playing Warframe last night, and I got to a part where I had to drill, and it wasn't drilling. Turns out I had to pick something up and put it in there to make it start. So I was like, drill.
Okay. Are you enjoying that game?
Yeah, it's taking me back to when I first started playing Destiny, trying to figure everything out. There's definitely a lot to take in.
How long have you been playing Warframe?
I actually only have like 10 or 11 hours in it, and I just started playing this week.
Oh, okay. Okay, good deal. I tried playing it. It's just so different. I don't know. It was a weird game for me. I come from a basic military shooting game into this, and I like science fiction and stuff, but this game just was so weird the way it worked. You like floated in the air, and the way you moved around was really strange. It's just, I don't know. Let's see. King Tut has one more for you here. Question for the number one div daddy, Scarman McScarscar. What happens more often in a raid? Cloud knocking you off the map, or her accusing you of being drunk? She knocked me off the map last night, by the way. Which happens more often is why he's asking.
I think it's pretty much 50-50, because I think she uses me being drunk even when I'm haven't even touched the lick of alcohol. But she probably knocks me off the ledge more often.
I think I've heard her say, "Are you drunk?" I think I've heard her say that when playing Crucible with you guys. And then final question, whose strand ball was that, honestly?
It was my strand ball. Uh-huh. It came from my Quicksilver Storm.
Oh.
We were running Kingsfall one time. Okay. We were all over on the other side, and one person was left over there, and then they died. So Zirek was trying to make his own strand ball.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then he made one for himself. He was on the other side of the map. And then I made one with my Quicksilver Storm also. So I shot it and killed the enemies that were around. He's like, "Why'd you shoot the strand ball or whatever?" And I was like, "That's my strand ball. Make your own." Joking, because I knew he wasn't talking to me.
Okay. Gotcha. A few more questions here. Do you have any other hobbies outside of gaming?
I play guitar.
Oh, of course. Right.
But other than that, no, not really. Just busy with wife and kids.
All right. This is something I've been wanting to ask because I have no clue. Dude, what's up with that gamer tag? TheScarletKm. What is that about, man?
Well, the band I was in was called the Scarlet Thread.
Oh.
So I just took the Scarlet and then put my first letter of my last name and my last letter of my last name in it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I like the name, though. There's something about the name Scarlet. It's like serious, like dead serious. Mm-hmm. I like that. It's actually a pretty edgy name, to be honest. Okay. Do you have a motto or mantra that you live by?
Not really. I just kind of go with it, go day by day.
Okay.
Not really.
That could be a mantra. Fair enough. And then finally, my favorite question. ScarletKm, what's one thing about you that our community might not know about you?
After I graduated high school, I went to a ministry school to be a pastor.
I think soccer did that too.
I didn't finish it because when I went to the ministry school, then I moved to Virginia for a year and went to a seminary theological Bible college out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I just never finished it.
What made you change your mind?
Money.
Okay, that can do it.
And I just decided it wasn't for me.
I got you. Well, TheScarletKm, thank you, brother, for sharing your life with me tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, it was a good interview. All right. That means it's time for our fastest 2-minute interview ever, the speed run. We're going to do that right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Ginseng Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls, this segment is called the speed run. This is where we have a database of over 800 possible questions for our guest. And the TheScarletKm here will have 2 minutes to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers. And at the end of the year, the guest with the most answer will win a prize and title of 2024 Speedrun Champion. The questions are custom curated by me, so no one can memorize the order and just quickly answer what comes to mind. Tonight, I'm going to read out the questions from my list, and the female assistant on my phone will help me with the timer. Nico, aka Jersey, is our current leader with 48 questions answered. So what do you think, Scarlett? You ready to do this?
Yep. Watch out, Cloud. I'm coming for you.
All right. There it is. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Titan.
Hand towels or air dryer?
Hand towels.
Void, solar, arc, or stasis, or strand?
Solar.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Hawaii.
Fries or onion rings?
Fries.
Controller or mouse and keyboard?
Controller.
Sidearm or fusion rifle?
Fusion rifle.
Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit?
Crucible.
Are you an AMC Stubbs member?
No.
Quest or RNG?
Quest.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Mickey Mouse.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Human, awoken, or exo?
Awoken.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Is Scum Death your uncle?
Yes.
What's your favorite Destiny planet?
Europa.
Suspend or freeze?
Suspend.
Vex, Cabal, or Hive?
Vex.
What's your favorite armor or weapon mod?
Reaper.
What is the best sandwich?
Reuben.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic?
Arms.
Head Seeker or Dynamic Sway Reduction?
Dynamic sway.
Icoricator Zavala?
Zavala.
TV or monitor?
TV.
What number am I thinking of?
25.
Marisov or Crow?
Marisov.
Describe yourself in one word.
Quiet.
Destiny 2, seasonal events, yes or no?
Sure.
What's the one thing you own that needs to be thrown out?
Use.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Restaurant.
Pineapple on pizza?
No.
Do you have a tattoo?
No.
Teleport or fly?
Teleport.
Favorite drink?
Mountain Dew.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Solo or fire team?
Fire team.
Gas, electric, or diesel?
Gas.
Can you drive a stick shift?
No.
Xbox, PC, or PlayStation?
Xbox.
I'll give you one more. Do aliens exist?
Yes.
That is a solid 40, sir. Not bad. Came close to Nico. I think Nico was still buzzing on hot gummies at the time, so that's probably what fueled him. Good job, man. 40 is not... So 40 is a solid number. It's a very solid number. Good job, sir.
Thank you.
Well, hey, I've got a question for all you listeners out there. Do you have a great speedrun question for our speedrun segment? If that's a yes, join our Discord and enter them in our Speedrun Question Ideas channel, and we'll add them to next year's speedrun. Just remember they need to be yes or no, 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will also be accepted. And the one open question I love is, what's your favorite? At the end of the year, we're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 gift card of your choice, and you can enter up to 5 questions to go into that very drawing. So let's see what you got, and good luck. Also, if you're enjoying what you've heard so far in our show and know someone who plays Destiny or coming back to Destiny, do us a favor if you would. Share the show with them. All the links are in our show description right down there in the show notes, or hit that share option in whatever podcast app you're listening to. And if you also have the time, could you rate and review our show? It might help other people find us better. We appreciate you. Okay, so that means it's time for This Week
At Bungie.
in Destiny. That's the way it's said, man. That's what's on the notes here.
Hello, Scumdeath here, your favourite uncle, and you are listening to the most heavy metal Destiny podcast on Earth, Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast! Yow!
Okay, This Week in Destiny for February 22nd, 2024. This is from the Destiny 2 community team. This Week in Destiny, we got PvP on our minds. This is actually the second part of their total PvP revamp, and they build on it even more this week, actually. So here's what they got talking about. This is the PvP Strike Team update, and they say, hey, folks, it's the PvP Strike Team here. Today, we'd like to share our thoughts on the current state of PvP, our philosophy, and the changes we have planned. We believe Destiny's PvP gameplay provides players with a unique experience that can stand on its own, but it needs a clear vision alongside ongoing iteration. For some time, the Crucible hasn't felt like it had that. This has made it difficult for us to attract players to the Crucible, leading to a slow bleed of our PvP population over the last couple of years as veterans move on and are not replaced by fresh players. Returning to our core mission, we want to refocus on rewarding the players who love the Crucible, as well as push to provide a baseline variety of experiences to ensure there is always something appealing for PvP enjoyers. Since the PvP Strike Team was formed, the bulk of our work has been focused on finding solutions for 5 major issues: Crucible maps, rewards, game modes, sandbox issues, and matchmaking. We talked about the sandbox last week, and it was pretty extensive, to say the least. So what they're saying here as far as the maps, they do plan on releasing a map pack, and it is coming out in May. They just say a May update that they're going to be adding 3 brand new maps to the Crucible. The first one's called Eventide Labs from Europa, Cirrus Plaza from Neomuna, and Dissonance, which is a terraform pyramid ship. That one sounds very interesting. But those are the 3 maps that they have coming in May. They just say sometime in May. They don't tell us exactly when. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. But that is not coming with the March update, the new Crucible maps. So keep that in mind. The next thing they talk about is rewards. Oh, okay. This is very exciting. And I'm going to ask you, Scarlet, what you think of this once I cover this real quick and explain to this, everyone. They say we want Crucible to feel at least as rewarding as PvE, with post-game drops on par with strike activities in terms of rewarding materials and activity-specific loot. We also want PvP players to have a more consistent methods of being rewarded with buildcraft materials. This has led us to make the following changes, which are currently available in-game, already live, increased end-of-match rewards, including more glimmer and higher chances of enhancement cores and Crucible engrams, and they have also created double rewards boosters for PvP. In competitive, what's already live is they've added weapon focusing. They added a second tier to the competitive weekly challenge that awards Ascendant alloys. Yes, and I've been taking advantage of this. We're also looking to improve our in-game rewards. While some players may choose to play only a few competitive games per week, that's me, we'd like to reward players who continue to remain active. In competitive, we're offering 2 major incentives for continued success throughout the week. Man, this is exciting because I don't have this armor. They're bringing Artifice armor into competitive Crucible. Now, the only way you can get Artifice armor now is you have to go into a dungeon, a specific dungeon, and just RNG, get it to drop. They have all the names of the armor pieces here for all 3 classes, and I'm not going to go into that. But they say the first reward for the first time in Destiny PvP is the addition of Artifice armor in competitive Crucible. This high stat armor will be obtainable as a reward from a new third tier on the competitive division weekly challenge. After completion of the weekly challenge, Artifice armor will continue to have a chance to drop on further victories past that point. These Artifice armor pieces are giving year 1 Crucible gear a new lease on life. Now, Artifice armor, if you're not familiar, actually has an extra slot. It's already very high stat armor, but it has that extra slot where you can actually slot in an extra mod or perk for your armor. And that's what makes it Artifice armor. That's what makes it very, very nice. And I've been lazy. I have not gotten this Artifice armor, from the dungeon, but, have you done any of this, Scarlet? Have you gotten Artifice armor from the dungeon?
I've gotten a couple. I think I did Grasp on Master.
Yep. That's
and
it.
I think I have like 3 pieces from there.
Yeah, and you have to play it on Master difficulty, by the way. I forgot to mention that. It doesn't drop in the regular version. You have to play the Master version. So the biggest hang up, I think, for getting Artifice armor, and maybe why a lot of people don't, is you have to get 2 other players, right? To join them. Not only run the dungeon, but they have to be high enough power or experienced enough to play a Master version of it, because it's not easy. But
no, it's really not.
Yeah, I mean, the Master dungeons just aren't easy to begin with. I mean, would you say it's up? Have you ever run a Grandmaster Nightfall?
I've ran one.
Now let me ask you, is it as hard as that, or is it a little easier than that? The Grandmaster?
I'd say this is about equal.
Okay, so you got big, heavy champions and stuff you have to deal with, right?
Yeah. But in Grandmasters, you only have one boss you really have to fight.
See, I ran the dungeons and stuff, but then when I found out I can get Artifice armor from running Master, I don't know, man. I was just already moving on. I have my activities that I play in Destiny that keep me busy enough, and I just never went back to get this Artifice armor. But now, as of the update 7.3.5, which is coming next month, you're going to be able to get it when you go past a certain point playing competitive every week. This might be enough to make me play beyond my Ascendant drop. You know, my Ascendant, Alloy? Ascendant Alloy drop. You know, first 3 games you get the Pulse Rifle, which that's definitely enough of a reward for me to play 3 games. And then if I have a good team with me, or I'm playing with Jeff, Warcry, and we want to play a little longer, then I'll usually play them 3 more games to get the Ascendant Alloy. Now, keep in mind, it's based on wins. So you only get this Artifice armor if you get wins past this point. So you play your 6 games and you start jumping into 7, 8, 9, 10 games of this. And to be honest, comp goes really fast. It's really fast. I would say anywhere from, if you're getting stomped especially, anywhere from 5 to 12 or 13 minutes maybe a game. It's not as long as playing Control or a 6-man event. So, but you have to get wins. So keep that in mind if you want to get this Artifice armor.
Did you say that you had to be gold 3 in order to get it also?
You have to be minimum gold 3. And I'm right there on that minimum. I think I'm at almost gold 1. But I started at gold 3 when I did my sync matches where they determine where you place. So yeah, if you're at bronze or silver, you're going to have to work up to gold in order to qualify to get this armor. So keep that in mind. It said this was important. Competitive matches will also have an increased chance to drop an exotic weapon catalyst on victories. Not just, you know how most of the exotic catalysts out there, they drop with certain activities. Well, now they're going to give you a chance to get any of those exotic catalysts, that's very exciting as well. I have all the catalysts. I'm pretty sure I do. I think I still need to get that glaive, that exotic glaive on EDZ. I never went back to get the catalyst on that because I just don't like glaives. But other than that,
the Excalibur.
Yeah, I just don't think I have any. I think that's the only one I don't have an exotic catalyst for. But those catalysts really change how a weapon works. So that right there might be worth it as well. All right, now let's talk about trials. In trials, we want to strike a better balance between the effort versus the reward equation for going flawless, while also increasing reward options for players who cannot go flawless. To that end, We recently added flawed cards rewards with update 7.3.5 on March 5th. We'll update the passage of ferocity and a new passage of persistence. Now, what they've already put in the game is they've added a 50% chance to get a Trials weapon on wins. I've experienced this. I ran Trials for the first time last week because it was double drops. Or not double drops, it was increased XP to rank up your season bar with the Trials of Osiris vendor. But with update 7.3.5, this will be updated to exclusively drop the weekly weapon reward to better allow for targeted farming of the specific weapon you want. And they've added flawed card rewards in the new update. They're making the following changes to Trials passages. For passages of ferocity, if you have not been flawless for the week, losses after 3 wins will reset you back to 3 wins instead of flawing your cards. So in other words, if you get 3 wins without any losses and you lose the 4th game, they'll erase that loss and you'll go back to 3 wins. With a new passage of persistence, losses following a win will remove that last win from your card. Consecutive losses, though, do not remove additional wins off. So getting to 7 wins grants you a drop of the weekly adept weapon, regardless of how many losses you have taken. This passage works like a trailing backstop. Once you have at least 1 win recorded on your passage, a loss will remove the most recent win instead of flawing it. Since consecutive losses will not remove additional wins, winning 2 games in a row adds a permanent win to your card. So you're looking for win streaks. That's what you're looking to get here. Back-to-back wins. Wins longer than 2 add additional permanent wins. So, like I said, you're trying to go for a win streak here. This is what usually happens. You'll go on a win streak and then you'll hit a wall where it'll just be a total mismatch and you'll just get pwned. And that flaws your card normally unless you have the Passage of Mercy. But if you don't have Passage of Mercy, it flaws your card. But what they're doing here, and now granted, you can't go to the lighthouse with this Passage of Persistence. But what this does, I think, Scarlet, is for people who are grinding out the weekend to try to get the adept weapon. The only way you can get an adept weapon now is to go flawless. You got to go flawless. You got to go to the tower and you'll get your adept weapon. This is a way to get the adept weapon without really truly going flawless. Now, once you get 1 loss, and it erases your past win, you can't go flawless. I mean, you can't go to the lighthouse, I should say, but you can still get that 7 win card using this passage of persistence. But if you're just wanting to not have to reset your card and just want to sit there and just play the odds and grind it out over the weekend, this might be a possible way of doing it, especially if you're looking to get the adept weapon. So I don't know. I think this is a good addition. What do you think, Scarlet? Would you do something with this? Would you play this way? Have you played Trials?
It's been like a year and a half since I've been in Trials.
Oh, well, then this is the perfect question. Then would this bring you back to Trials, knowing that you could grind and eventually get your 6 wins? And see, I played for the first time in 6 months last week. It was Dead Cliffs, which everybody knows Dead Cliffs is not a fun map to play Trials on because you can get spawn camped. And the heavy ammo was in the weirdest places. But other than that being aside, I won my first 4 flawless, and then I had the Passage of Mercy. So I got my mercies, and then eventually I lost my, I couldn't go any further than, I think 5 wins flawless. I got it like two losses in a row. So eventually I got a flawed card, but instead of resetting my card to try to go flawless, I just kept playing. And all I did was just get my 6 wins, or 7 wins, I should say, my 7 wins on the card. And I could go in and turn it in and get I think it's a Pinnacle drop, a Pinnacle Engram from the Trials vendor. So that's the way I did it. And I'll be honest, I played maybe a couple times throughout the weekend. I literally didn't play a whole lot. I played about for 2 hours on Saturday, got my 6 wins, or I'm sorry, I keep saying 6. I got my 7 wins. I went and got my Pinnacle reward. And of course, because it was enhanced XP, I got a lot of engrams built up that I could use. I also unlocked the seasonal tracked for trials, so I was able to unlock those materials and guns as well. But the way this works is if instead of Mercy, I got the Passage of Persistence. If I decided to grind it out and finally get my 7 wins using this method, I could get not only the Pinnacle reward for the week, but I can get the Adept weapon that's being offered that week without having to go to the Lighthouse. Would that bring you back to play?
If I had a team, at least one other person to play with, it might. I look at this as like a good thing, but I can also see the other side where they're like, but we had to go to the Lighthouse. We had to do this perfectly 7 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just going to hand it out. I mean, yeah, they're going to have to grind, but is it going to take away from... crap. I can't think of the word, but is it going to take away the...
Incentive?
Yeah.
Okay. See, here's the thing I learned, Scarlet, because I haven't played in 6 months. I've avoided trials like the plague because problem with trials right now is the player count is so low. The player base is pretty much only people playing trials right now are the people who are just diehard players. They know the game, they know the maps, they played them over and over and over again. It's like people that have played a ton of Grandmasters over the last few seasons and throughout the year. They know the raids, they know the way to go, they know what to shoot, they know how to proceed through the map. It's kind of the same way with trials. And the thing I love about trials though, you ever have that game where you just do everything wrong? It just is not flowing right. You made a mistake here, you did that. The thing I love about trials is they send you right back to the same map with all new players and you get to try it again. And the neat thing about trials is basically it is trial and error. You try doing it this way. If it doesn't work, you learn from it. You try a different way the next time you play. And eventually just by playing the game, you're getting engrams, you're getting XP. But here's the surprising thing, Scarlet. I found that most people are going solo when they play. You can play solo in trials now. You don't have to have a team of 3. And from what I've heard from the matchmaking, a lot of people are playing solo and going flawless. It's luck of the draw. You can get a team that are total duds and one might be AFK in the back in the spawn. And it's only 2 of you versus 3. You could get 2 other teammates that are full killers, know what they're doing, and you flow beautifully with them. But it all depends on your teammates. But you can play solo, and this is what I did last week. I didn't play with anybody. I played solo. And within a couple hours, got my 7 wins on my card. And there were some games where I had to pull my weight, and there were some games that I was carried. It's just the way it works out. But I encourage you to try playing solo. Since you like playing Crucible, you might actually enjoy it. I don't know. Do you play comp?
I have, not for like the past season. I haven't been in yet this season.
See, the thing with comp is I know you play 6s. You play Iron Banner. You play Control. 6s are just chaotic because there's so much going on this tiny little map with 12 players on it. The spawns are terrible. And they say they've been working on that. But people spawn behind you. Your whole team respawns on the other side of the map and you're all by yourself. I mean, you know how it is. It just gets chaotic, man. And sometimes you don't know which end's up. You can get really lost. But when you play a 3v3 game, you always know within 85% of where the enemies are. You know where they're hiding. You know where they're going. And if you have teammates you can communicate with, it's even like it's like a second radar. People will tell you, oh, he's over here at B. And, we'll make call outs. But even if you play with no mic, which is what I did, eventually you start to pick up on how the game's played. And for someone who hasn't played in 6 months, I thought I did pretty good. And I actually thought I'd get stomped game after game after game, but I actually held my own on several games. So, I don't know. I encourage you to try comp and I encourage you to try trials because 3v3 is a totally different animal than the chaotic 6s that we all play,
Oh, I love 3v3 when they had that playlist in there, like elimination. Mm-hmm. I'd rather play that than 6s, but then they took that out.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just the word comp that kind of like turned me off because like I'm not a very confrontational person, and I've had people send me messages. Like one time when I was playing Trials solo, and somebody actually messaged me, called me a trash can.
I'm gonna give everyone a tip here when it comes to, you play on console? You playing on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Xbox? It's real simple. Real simple. I'm gonna help you fix this. Because this is what I do. And it's unfortunate the way I have to do this, but you go to your privacy and party settings on your console of choice, and you select it where only your friends and clanmates can message you. Then guess what? They'll send the message, but it'll just go into the ether. They'll think they sent you a nasty message, and you'll never receive it. I have all my characters are set that way. And unfortunately, you might get positive messages there too from people wanting to say something, but unfortunately, I only get messages from my friends and my clanmates. And that's a setting on your console that you can put. Don't let that garbage toxicity, man. Don't let that dissuade you from playing. Because these people who put out that trash, calling you this or that, they're the ones that are trash. So it's a video game, dude. You know, let's not get too upset about a video game. I know sometimes I should take my own advice because I get, you know how Admiral Nips is the grumpy old raider? I'm kind of the grumpy old Crucible player. I can get that way anyways. I can have my nights. So I have to check myself as well. But here's the thing. If I send a message to somebody, they're not going to get it because I can only message my clanmates and friends and they can only message me. So that's what I invite you to do. If you're worried about people sending you messages after the game, just set it to that setting on your console. And guess what? They'll think they were all smug and sent you and they thought they were cool sending you this message to get good, and they'll never know you never received it. And by the way, you can also block these players. All you have to do is click on their name and the scoreboard afterwards and just click block. And the game will do its best to not, get you in the matchmaking with them. So keep that in mind, man. Don't let people put you down in Crucible, man. Don't let that hate get to you. It should be fun. It should be a learning experience. And I realize there's games where when someone's got their boot on your neck and you're just getting murdered, it's hard not to take it personally. But all you got to do is just go on to the next game, dude. It's like a forgotten memory. You just forget about it and move on. So, but that's what Bungie's doing here. They're trying to get more people like you to give Trials a shot or give Comp a shot. Look at the armor and weapons they're going to start giving people now. So that's their goal here. And, so what Bungie's trying to do here is they're trying to get more people to try these game modes out because, like I said, a lot of the veteran players have moved on to play these other games. These are some awesome shooter games out there right now, but they're trying to get people, especially newer players, to give these game modes a try. Because a lot of people play solo, they are giving more rewards to people who actually play in 3-person fire teams and Trials. And all you have to do is get completions, match completions. So you don't have to win these games, but you can earn rewards like additional 50% chance to drop a non-adept Trials weekly weapon reward, a 50% chance to get a Trials Ingram to drop, additional Trials rep. And they said the goal of these changes is to encourage players to team up with friends. With losses being less of a punishment, players can have more fun and be well rewarded while doing so. I've never known Bungie to ever bend this way to invite more players, especially newer or maybe players who don't play a lot of Crucible, to do this. So I think this is a good thing, man. So I really think you should try it out. And if you're worried about the hate, like I said, just make that little change in your console and you'll be good as gold. Let's see. There's some more game modes coming. They are bringing, they said that right now competitive modes are not at the bar of quality to best promote an exhibition of skill and mastery between teams. We recently updated the Countdown Rush rule set in competitive and are introducing a new King of the Hill mode called Collision to Crucible Labs in Update 7.3.5. The goal is to replace Countdown Rush in the competitive playlist after they test it out a bit. We also feel like quick play modes are lagging in updates. Even though new modes are being made, they have been either a party mode like Relic or limited time modes like Iron Banner Fortress, Eruption, okay, and Tribute. Outside of those, players have had the same options for too long. We want to make new core modes available to the standardized playlist and private matches. We also want to experiment with interesting twists on Destiny's PvP that still retain the core feeling of our gameplay without being limited time events. So here's what they've done. Already live right now They have the Sparrow Control, which was out this week. They added 3v3 Clash to Crucible Labs. They've updated the Countdown Rush rule set for competitive. In the update coming in March, 3v3 Clash will be moving to 3v3 Quick Play Rotator. They'll be making updates to the rules. Heavy ammo will no longer be shared. Thank goodness. Respawn timer increases from 5 to 7 seconds. Ooh. Interesting. Match timer increasing to 10 minutes, but the score to win remains at 40. A new 3v3 King of the Hill mode, Collision, will enter Crucible Lab. A single larger zone will rotate between 5 points around the map on a timer. Capturing and controlling it will earn the team points. This mode will also test an alternative special ammo crate system. Destiny 1 time. The special ammo crate system will feature 4 shareable special ammo crates that spawn simultaneously at the beginning of a game or round, and then on a timer afterwards. This is just the way it was in Destiny 1. So I'm curious how people think about that. Curious to see what their feedback's going to be on that. Each control zone location, A, B, and C, will have an associated special ammo crate, and the 4th crate will be in a neutral location. Players who currently have special ammo will drop special ammo bricks on death. Lots of special I see here. It is our goal to polish and refine both new special ammo acquisition systems, ammo meter, and ammo crates. Then they can be utilized with the respawn ammo system, and we can pick the ammo acquisition system that works best for each mode. So they're testing it out. They're going to see how it works. Iron Banner Tribute has undergone multiple changes, thank God. Simplifying objectives and scoring, including changing the trigger for the hunt from depositing max crest to a team score threshold. Removing the, quote, wall hacks on players carrying max crest. That was terrible. Cleaning up of the user experience by decreasing the distance at which crest icons can be seen. We're also reworking how quickly the beacons despawn and rotate, and significantly decreasing the time it takes to interact to dunk crest. See, that was my complaint. The interaction to dunk the crest was just like dunking in Gambit. It takes way too long. And when you have people shooting at you, it's really, really hard to dunk crest. So, they reduced.
Yeah, I would.
Go ahead. I want to see what you think. What do you think?
I would think with that, the game mode in Call of Duty, there was something like that. And you would just walk into a circle and then it would drain your motes that you picked up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if they did something like that, that would make more sense than having you stand there not able to defend yourself.
I like that they give you the option to just play the basic control mode now. And typically that's where I'm finding most players are going. The more seasoned players, the more skilled players seem to be going to Iron Banner Control. And from what I've heard, just from feedback from players I've been gaming with, they say that the other modes have been a little looser as far as skill-based. So, not saying that their skill-based matchmaking is any looser. I'm just saying it seems like players who maybe are more there for the fun aspect are playing the tribute modes, and the more serious players seem to be going to control. At least that's from my experience. It's not fact, but that's just what I'm seeing in the field.
Howdy folks, this is MC Squared and you're listening to Guardian Downcast.
Checkmate will be back in Crucible Labs with the new update in a form closer to its original iteration, which is 30% penalty on ability cooldowns, no starting special ammo. Melee damage will not be increased, so it'll take 3 mace melees to kill. Primary weapon optimal times to kill will be shifted to allow for a more tactical sandbox in line with the original goal of Checkmate as a modifier. A new modifier, hardware, will be tested in labs. They heard my prayers. They heard my prayers, Scarlet. No abilities, only weapons. Grab special and heavy ammo from crates located around the map and get to shooting. I will be in this as soon as it comes out. What do you think about that, man? What do you think about playing Destiny with no abilities, just guns? No supers, no blink. I don't know what are they still going to give us the jumps, I wonder? Just maybe not going to give you the, I wonder if they're going to give you grenades and power melees. They say no abilities, so That would be no healing rifts, no powered melees, no grenades. Are grenades considered an ability? Because, see, in most shooting games, you get a grenade, right? You get a piece of equipment.
Yeah, you get a grenade, and then you get
like a knife,
special grenade.
Yeah. What do you think about this, man? Would you play this?
I would. If it's playing out the way that it seems like, it'd probably be more like a boots on the ground type of thing.
Exactly.
Like old school Call of Duty.
I know whenever I've talked about this in the past, people have said, Gator, it's not Call of Duty. Quit making it try to be Call of Duty. It's Space Magic. It's Destiny. But I don't know, man. If they had a separate game mode where it's only weapons, I think I'd be in there a lot. If anything, just to test weapons. Because think about it. If you got a new weapon in PvE, say you got a new dungeon weapon, right? And you want to try it out and see how it works in PvP, wouldn't it be better to go into a game mode that only has weapons in it? Literally, it's gunfight versus gunfight. I don't know. That just seems exciting to me. It just
does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just another way to play, right? Some things coming in final shape. Private matches will have more options for players to set per mode. Modifiers such as Mayhem and Scorched, which I would never play, will be options in any game mode. Play custom matches with your clanmates and friends or leverage Fireteam Finder. That's interesting. We also have added more custom tuning for existing game modes, so you'll be able to control other things like special ammo delivery, ability cooldowns, reviving, respawning, and more. That'll be cool. Especially for scrims and Guardian Downcast, and for PvP League, like with Potato Thumbs Podcast, we'll be able to tweak stuff like that. That'll be interesting. Now, I'm not going to go over the sandbox issues because they talked about this all last week. And I'm just skipping right over this because this was addressed in last week's TWID. And if you want to know more about this, then go right back to last week's TWAB. Or last week's episode, and I talk about all this stuff. Now, I did want to make sure I mentioned that next week, I have a very special friend of mine that we were going to sit down and talk about all of this. I'm calling it Crucible 2.0 because the way that they're going with Crucible here, it just seems to me like it's just kind of the way forward, right? It's just the new Crucible in Destiny. What do you think about all these changes, Scarlet? I didn't ask you that. What do you think about everything, all the things they talked about last week with how you get special, they increased the time to kill and power for primary weapons. They actually increased, the time to kill for a lot of the, special weapons. So when you get a special weapon, you know it's going to kill. And, watching a Lego the Flash video, in fact, this week, and they talked about how usually you had to have certain mods on fusion rifles to get that special one shot kill. But because of the changes they have coming up, that you're going to have much more leniency on what you use in a fusion rifle to get kills. What do you think of all this, man? The reduced abilities and all that. Is this, are we going in the right direction in your opinion, or is this something you're going to hate?
Kind of impartial to it because I play mostly just to play with my crew on Thursday nights. I haven't really, I completely forget what the changes even are.
So I know you're in it for the friend game. I get that. It's a social thing for you, right? Crucible is?
Yeah.
But if you wanted to try to improve at the game and get more serious about the game, the fact that the game is getting more and more based on primary gunfights. Does that sound interesting to you, or do you want all the abilities and stuff back to where they were, or where they are now?
It definitely does sound intriguing. The primary.
Okay.
Because I just recently started using special. I used to just roll double primary all the time.
I do it sometimes too. I don't like giving my bricks up to people when they kill me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if you know they've taken their 2 shots.
Yep. 2 sniper shots. He's out of ammo. Let's go. Let's get after him. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Unless someone dropped a block near him and he just got an extra shot. But I cannot wait to talk next week with my buddy on the next Destiny Help Desk. We're going to talk about Crucible 2.0. We're going to talk about all the changes that have come and go are coming for Crucible come the next update in March. So we'll just have to see, I guess. We'll have to see how it turns out. I know a lot of it's wait and see, but they're making a lot of changes here, and quite honestly, I like what I'm seeing. I really do, man. They talked about their matchmaking system here, and I'm not going to bore everybody here with the matchmaking. They went into great detail on what their current matchmaking system is and what they're trying to do. The snake-based matchmaking system that they're trying in some game modes right now. And the TLDR on this one is it's wait and see. They explain why the matchmaking the way it is, and they explain why it was difficult to do some changes. And like I said, the thing I don't think Bungie has the luxury right now to change their matchmaking much. I hate Fireteam matchmaking, and I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I don't know about you, Scarlet, but ever since we've been playing in 6s, have you noticed the games have just gotten sweatier and not as fun?
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's ever since they went to the team-based matchmaking as the primary way to matchmake, right? Isn't that when you kind of felt this change?
Yeah, it's definitely been quite a headache.
I mean, I think one night we got mercied like 10 times in a row.
7 or 8 times. Yeah, I remember that night.
It was disheartening, man. And, we're just friends, just partying up to play, right? We're just playing, BSing, talking, having fun, shooting stuff. And it just seemed like every team we went up against was just out for blood. I mean, it's like kill, 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 I've expressed this in past shows, so do you agree with me there? You think it's just gotten much sweatier? Or?
Oh, I definitely agree with you, because we'll just be messing around, like, trying to win, and then they just have, like, everything that's, like, the best for a Crucible. Yeah, it's sad but true. Maybe it's the reason why I've just gotten saltier and more of a grumpy player lately, because it seems like whenever I'm in a group of friends, it just gets sweaty. And this is the most ironic thing I should say, is when I play Iron Banner solo, I have a great time, man. The games go to score. They're close games. They're not blowouts. I'd hardly ever get mercied. I feel like I've contributed. And it just seemed like it was the way the game was supposed to be played. But then I jump in with a group of 6, and it's like all that's just thrown out. It's like, okay, you're in a full fire team of 6 now. Now we have only fire teams of 6 we're going to match you with. And maybe it's me. I'm not seeing many fun teams of 6 out there like us. I feel like we're the outliers, because I don't know. It just seems like the teams that are playing in groups of 6 in Iron Banner, for instance, it just seems like they're all serious players. And, and the fact that there's no trials that week, maybe that adds to it as well. 2 trials teams, combined into a group of 6. It seems like it's what it is anyway. Anyway, I just was curious, because I want to make sure I wasn't the only one feeling this, So I guess for right now, being that the player population isn't the highest right now, I mean, it's steady, but it's kind of on the low end as far as PvP lately. I mean, and I think the biggest reason that is there's just a lot of PvP games out there right now. There's a lot of competition, and let's face it, Destiny's a 10-year-old game now, and you can always come back and play Crucible. It's not like you have to play it every day. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. They're working on like I said, the TLDR, the lobby balancing and everything, they're working on it. But I personally don't think they have the luxury of even messing with that right now, because they don't have enough of a player base to pick and choose as much, So. Yeah.
All right. Before we go, a few more updates here. Accessibility and console UI updates. To continue to prioritize accessibility and improve the console experience, we have a few long overdue quality of life UI changes that we'll be introducing in the update in March. Added the reticle location setting to console to center or below center. Seems like every time I'm pointing downward when I come in. Players can change the location of the reticle regardless of the platform in the gameplay settings menu. First thing I'll be changing. When a PC player changes their reticle location setting, it does not change their reticle location setting on console or vice versa. It does not transfer over. That's true. Added controller dead zone settings. With the ability to adjust dead zone value, players can dial in their movement setting that feels just right for their play style for a more enjoyable play session. Players can change their radial and axial controller dead zone values from the controller settings menu. I don't know about you, but I've gotten used to the dead zone settings. The sensitivity of the sticks, in other words, is what they're talking about here. I think if I got it too sensitive, it would totally mess up my aim. What about you? Do you think so?
Yeah, because whatever I'm playing on right now, I had to adjust it a little bit, but I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
It's just not really affecting me.
And I adjust my sensitivity, my look sensitivity. I don't touch any of my controller modifiers. I leave everything as default because that's what I've learned on. I play on a default controller. I have a scuff type controller that I bought a while ago, but those paddles, I'm just not used to them. Maybe down the road I'll use them, but for now, I play on a stock controller, man. A stock PS5 controller on PC and on my PS5, and I'm just used to all that the way it is. I just don't know I think that would just totally mess up everything as far as my aim and movement. Added the ability to adjust the opacity of the radar background. Okay. Players can now increase the opacity of the radar background to allow more contrast between radar elements and the content behind it. They're changing the Prophecy Dungeon weapon drops. They're removing a Swift Verdict sidearm, the Long Walk sniper rifle, and the Last Breath auto rifle. Oh, that sucks. I like that rifle. The new Origin trait is coming also with the new update. Crossing over, it's where these weapons have increased range and handling for the top half of the magazine, while rounds from the bottom half of the magazine deal increased damage. I like this modifier. This is promising. The weapons will be receiving all new perk pools and in some cases new damage types. The Prosecutor auto rifle is being introduced. Primary, precision frame. It's going to be arc. The Origin trait, of course, crossing over, like just mentioned. Adjudicator, submachine gun. Kinetic, precision frame. Relentless pulse rifle. I'm so glad they're bringing this back. This is one of my favorite pulse rifles back in the day. It's a high impact frame, and they changed they changed it from kinetic to strand. Okay, that could be good with some builds. They updated the Judgment hand cannon. The damage changed from kinetic to stasis. The Darkest Before pulse rifle, one of my favorite pulse rifles. They changed it from arc to solar. Oh. Now here's what I wonder. I have 2 Darkest Before arc ones in my inventory. I wonder if they're automatically going to change to solar, or I just get solar ones on the new drops. I'll have to find out once this happens. A sudden death shotgun, which I really like the shotgun, and I hate shotguns. Aggressive frame special. The damage changed from arc to void. Okay. Updated encounter drops. Phalanx Echo will drop the Relentless pulse rifle, the Prosecutor auto rifle. The Cube will drop a sudden death shotgun and Adjudicator submachine gun. Kel Echo awards at Emissary chest, the Judgment hand cannon, and the Darkest Before pulse rifle. Okay. Fair enough.
It surprises me that they're going to have 2 pulse rifles in one dungeon.
Don't touch my pulse rifles, Scarlet. Shh. Player support report. Scarlet, what's going on at the player support report for this week?
Oh, just broken.
Thank you, sir. If you want to find out what's broken, Bungie.net, this week at Bungie, and this week in Destiny. Really cool artwork this week, by Guar. Really cool picture of an Ahamkara. Thought that was nice. And the movie of the week is Not Today, Rolk. Sounds like it looks like a raid play. Cool. That's it. That's from the Destiny community team and the Destiny PvP strike team. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a twid or a twab. I'm going to say Twab. All right. Let's get into some questions, Scarlet. We'll do that right after this. Hey, Guardians, would you like to send a question for the show to us? There are 4 ways to do it. First, you can join our Discord server at discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. There's also a join link in our show notes down below. We have Guardians from all walks of life and all over the world, from new lights to day one players to hardcore gamers. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show. So come hang out with us. You can also email us with your question at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also occasionally post about our upcoming show and guest, and you can respond there with your question at Guardian_D_cast is our X handle. Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your question at guardiandowncast.com, and we might play it on the podcast. Think of it as talking with us right on the show. Thanks for listening, and later, Guardian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of our show where we answer our questions from you guys. So we're looking through the Discord here. We have a couple SpeakPipe questions tonight as well. But we're going to start with some Destiny questions, and we'll start out with first, Abstacks. Question for the show. I've played as Warlock and only Warlock since launch. Until recently, I had over 400 items in my vault. I recently took over my son's old Hunter, now that he has his own account. I'm having fun with some Hunter shenanigans now, but my question is this. How the F do you deal with vault management when you play multiple characters on the same account? I'm not even a week into playing this Hunter, and I'm putting way more into the vault than I'm taking out. That's a problem. Please help. All right, Scarlet. What's he need to do, man?
For me, if I'm going through my vault and I see I have multiple of the same thing, especially exotic armor, I'll go with the role that I want the most.
Yep.
Like high resilience, high discipline, because I like to play Titan. And just sometimes I have just closed my eyes and deleted. Or thrown it on a character I don't usually play on.
Okay. You play all 3, right?
I have all 3. But I mainly play both Hunter and Titan the most.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can help you out here, Abstacks. I play all 3. I have I have all the exotics for all 3 except a few. I've just got a few pieces left. I need a couple helmets and 1 leg piece for my Titan, and I'll have all the exotic armor for my characters. Here's what I do. You have to keep your exotic armor stored. I have most of it, probably 6 of the 9 slots stored in each character are exotic. You should only really have 1 legendary killer piece of armor. You really don't need to have multiple, unless you've got it specifically tied to a build. But let's just say if you're a Warlock, you want high recovery because you want to have you want to get the healing rifts as quickly as possible. And you want to recover your health as fast as possible as a Warlock. So I'm just looking at Dim right here. I have 1 piece of legendary armor and it is a 84 roll. I've got 26 resilience, 18 recovery. I mean, it's a good roll. It's a solid roll. Maybe worst case scenario, and Panda's finding this out, you really need a set of armor for PvP, and you need a separate piece of armor for PvE, because you want to have some mobility. You want to be able to strafe fast when you're aiming down your weapon. And depending on if you're a Titan, Warlock, or Hunter, you really want to make sure you have those specific traits very strong in PvP as well, because that's how quickly you get your abilities back, depending on what character you are. So here's a good rule of thumb. Let's say we're looking at gauntlets here, okay? For all 3 characters. You should have 1 legendary piece, killer roll, 1 you definitely can't live without, for PvE, and 1 killer piece of armor for PvP. Everything else should be exotics. So that right there, you'll be able to get rid of a lot of extraneous legendary armor, even if it's a decent roll. Use your best rolled stuff, and if you use dim, you can go and actually optimize your armor. If they see that you have a piece of legendary armor that's better than what you got for whatever you're looking for when you're building your armor sets, your armor builds and your loadouts, keep one of each, keep all your exotics, and as you get an exotic, like I'm looking right here, I have 3 Khepri stings for my hunter, just taking up space. And I have one that is a 40 or 68 roll. I have one that is a 62 roll and one that is a 62 roll. So it's a hunter. So we want to make sure we have a lot of mobility. So I'm looking through these 3 here. I have one with 3 mobility, 2 of them with 3 mobility. So those are gone unless they have really spiky armor. Like one of my Khepri Sting has 23 recovery and 20 strength. When you have plus 20 stats on armor, really spiky, it's not like all across the board about the same. Anything that stands out, if you have the space, keep those. Because depending on what builds you put together, you're looking for certain spiky parts of armor to put together. Those plus 20s and a lot of these spiky parts of your armor really will help you put optimum builds together. But as we're finding out, as of March update, builds aren't going to be as important in PvP as much as they are in PvE. So keep that in mind. But as you unlock the exotic armor for your characters, if you get duplicates, immediately look at them side by side, and whatever one is not up to snuff or is not as good as the other, just get rid of it. Delete it. So that right there is going to save you a lot of space. Weapon-wise, see, I'm not the person to ask when it comes to weapons because I'm a PvP guy, and what might be okay this season may be the new hotness next season. It's very hard for me to get rid of some decent rolled weapons. And that part, maybe Scarlet can help you there. But with armor, that's what I would do. 1 PvE roll and 1 PvP roll in each of your slots. That's it. Any extra legendary armor for those characters, just get rid of it. You don't need it. And you're always going to get more. What do you think about weapons, Scarlet? Help this man out. What can we do to help him on weapons?
Well, it kind of depends on what subclass he's playing on, because if he likes to play solar, anything with incandescent is really good to keep.
Yep. For PvE. Yep.
If you're for PvE, and my Amit for PvP is a dynamic sway.
Yeah, it's got shot straight.
Yeah.
I got the same one. It's a killer, man. It's very powerful in the Crucible right now. I use it in comp. That's how good it is. Never thought I'd say I'd be using an auto rifle in comp, but I am.
Yeah, they're really hot right now.
What about any of your other legendary stuff, legendary weapons? I mean, I know you can dismantle any exotic weapon and you can get it back. Keep in mind that you're only going to get it back at, I think, 1800 light. So you have an 1810 chaperone, for instance, and you dismantle it. You're only going to get an 1800 one back. Hell's it, a 1600 even? Might be even 1600, but you're going to get a base power level. Have you done this before, Scarlet? I save all my...
Yeah, it comes at 1600. Okay. I think I pulled Prospector one time, and it was at like 1600, but I was in a raid, the Last Wish raid, and that's a 1600, so it didn't really matter.
Okay.
But you'll definitely need to infuse it up if you're in one of the newer raids.
Yeah. Here's another thing, too, is a lot of these exotic weapons have kill counters on them. And if you have like a lot of kills on one of these exotics, it's really hard to dismantle it. Like I said, I can't help you on the weapon end of it, but at least when it comes to armor, and that sounds like that's where your problem is right now, is armor that's dropping. Just always be continually getting rid of the armor that's not as good as your latest drop. So, and of course, masterwork it, because that'll give you +2 on all your perks on that armor. So it makes it even stronger. That's why I have an 84 roll on that one piece I mentioned. It's because it's masterworked. Okay. Thanks, Abstacks. Panda is a nice guy. Trash Panda has a question for us as well. Question for the C. Okay. I think he meant question for the show. What's one piece of advice you would give your new light self with all you've learned and experienced? What do you think, Scarlet?
Get out of your comfort zone sooner.
Try new things, in other words, right? Try new things.
Yeah, try new things. Because I joined this community, and I don't think I joined anything for like 7 or 8 months. Then I finally was just like, all right, I want to start doing this stuff. I have a community I can do it with, but I had to get out of my comfort zone. And now I don't know what I'd do without this community, because I think I'd probably not be playing Destiny anymore.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that don't mind helping out. It's really cool. It's a cool position we find ourselves in today. Piece of advice I would give my new light self. I think I talked about this in the latest Destiny Help Desk. Don't take the story too seriously. If you just want to get in and shooties and looties, just get in and shooties and looties. Follow the Guardian ranking system that they have in place now. But as far as you getting up to snuff on what's going on in the story, like my Cortana story I mentioned earlier, and reason I didn't really get into the campaigns in Halo for the same reason. If you're really in Destiny for the story, it's unfortunate, but you can't go back and play the original Gaul mission from Destiny 2, which really has a lot of impact on Destiny 2, how we all start. It's unfortunate. I really hope Bungie brings it back. I mean, they have this Into the Lights event coming up soon. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. Maybe they'll open that story back up for new light players, but I don't know. But I would say just jump in, do the looties and the shooties, play with, get some friends, communities, join a community, join in and just have fun and shoot stuff. If you want to know more about the story, it's a really tough hill to climb, but go to Ishtar Collective online and you can slowly but surely learn the entire story of Destiny. Or you can go to YouTube. Bungie has kind of leaned on their YouTube community to fill the gaps and fill the voids, no pun intended, when it comes to the new light story. So that would be my advice to my new light self. Panda had a follow-up question. What is the golden age of Destiny to you? Good question, Panda. What do you think, Scarlet? Golden age of Destiny for you. You were fairly late to the party, but what do you have a golden age time when you really, really love the game?
Probably Witch Queen, because it was like my first actual DLC after I came in that I focused on. Beyond Light was out for a month or two before I got serious into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started as a free-to-play player. So once I got into Beyond Light and those seasons and all that, I don't know, maybe just because of the having to figure stuff out, learning stuff.
That final cutscene in The Witch Queen, I mean, goosebumps, right?
Mm-hmm. That was really good. And that last one you get Revision 0 from, Seraph Shield.
Yeah, that's a great mission.
That was a great mission.
I love that rifle. If I haven't said that enough times on this show, it's my favorite exotic. Good deal. Golden Age, I mean, I'm sorry, but Destiny 1, I mean, that no one will ever get that Destiny 1 feel back again. A lot of veterans can shake their head. I mean, are nodding their head right now in agreement, because that feeling when you first came out and saw the Kel ship drop down and shake the earth, shake that Cosmodrome, and it got all dark and scary, and dude, that just was an eye-opening experience. I've never experienced something like that in a game ever. So the golden age would be year 1 of Destiny for me. That was the golden age for me. And, you know, there's been multiple times in Destiny 2 as well, but you said one golden age, so it would be the original Destiny 1 for me. And I know people are laughing at me. Oh, that campaign was horrible. I didn't care. This is a whole new world open up to me. I was a Call of Duty player. I was burned out of playing Call of Duty for so many years. This game came along, man. It just totally changed my whole view on gaming. So, Hades had a question here. I wish there was somewhere we could have like a trophy room down in the Helm where we could have some souvenir from each season, you know, to kind of show off what we played. Saladin's axe, an egg from Nezarec, tea, that kind of stuff. What do you guys think? What do you guys wish you could display from a prior season, just to look at? We do need another, you know, our own private room. I don't think we'll ever get that in Destiny, to be honest, but it would be kind of cool to have a trophy room, right?
It would be. It'd be good to, like, have, if you're into chasing titles, have, like, little plaques on a wall.
That would be good.
Look at that.
That's a great idea, Scarlet.
And, like, the different, like, exotics from exotic missions.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Have those up there.
Like a accomplishment. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, like this is what I did.
Like a timeline even, you know? Like a chronological timeline of achievements you've done in the game. That would be pretty cool. Have it like a visual effect on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to agree with you, man. That's what I would have. Thanks, Hades, for the question. Let's go to a speak pipe. We have 2 speak pipes tonight. The first one is from Uncle Scumdeath. He has a question for the show. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Scumdeath here. A question for the show. When was the last time you lied to a member of your family? I'm not saying that I've done it recently, but it was a question that came up on the radio earlier, and I thought that's quite a good one to throw out here. So, yeah, there you go. When was the last time you lied to a family member, and what was the lie? It doesn't have to be like hardcore, but maybe a little white lie. I don't know. I don't lie anyway. You know, I'm a good boy. Love ya, mate.
Thanks, Uncle Scumdeath. Hey, by the way, if you ever want to leave us a voicemail that might be played on the show, in a future show, speakpipe.com/GuardianDownCast, or go to our website. It's the easiest way to do it. GuardianDownCast.com, and just hit send a voicemail. It's right there on the right side of the screen, a little tab you can click, or you can go to the top menu if you want to do it that way as well. But it'll immediately give you a record button. You just press the button, record, you know, have your headset on or whatever you're talking through. Could be a, you know, gaming headset or whatever. And leave us a voicemail. It could be a comment. It could be a question. So the question was, have you lied? When is the last time you lied to your family member, Scarlet? Your wife's not listening, is she?
I don't think so.
Okay. You can cover your bases if you want. It's up to you.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Good answer. I'm just kidding. How about a white lie or even a white lie? Nothing?
If I did, it's probably to my kids about them wanting something and me saying, we can't afford that right now.
You have little white lies all the time to your kids. That's kind of built into being a dad, right? Because you get that session where they're like, but why? But why can't I? But why can't I? It doesn't make, it's not fair. Why can't I do it? And something comes to your mind. It's total BS. And you say something because, that if you do, it'll bring the worms. They're like, what? The worms. You don't want the worms, do you? Oh, no, I don't want the worms. Okay. So there you go. That's why. Those little white lies, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you tell them later when they're older that it was a white lie. But I won't put you on the spot, Scarlet. I'll take the bullet, man. I'll take the bullet for that one. I mean, aren't white lies kind of part of marriage too? I mean, I'm sure my wife doesn't tell me perfectly every honest thing she's ever done. I'm sure she's tried to spare my feelings or, maybe not make me worry so much about things sometimes. And I do the same. I do the same for a lot of things. I mean, there's just sometimes there's little things you can omit that just don't have any impact, or maybe they have too much impact, but they're not important. Things like that. So there you go, Uncle Scumdeath. I'll fall on the sword for that one. All right. And speaking of Hades, Hades has a question for us.
Yo, what's up, you beautiful bastards? Hades here. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I've never actually had the pleasure of doing it through the Guardian Downcast website.
There you go.
Always been through SpeakPipe themselves, so yeah. That's how long it's been. Yeah, long, interesting couple months in good old Hades' household. Oh, right, yeah, it's Hades, in case you hadn't twigged. Should have started with that. Oh, well. We'll roll. We don't do resets here. Yeah, thanks to everyone around here in the Discord. You're all amazing people. If you're not in the Discord, get your ass in the Discord. I met maybe less threateningly than that, but hey. Questions. Yes. Question for the show. What's the most unique thing that's happened to you in work? I work retail. This is going to sound like a standard day to gator, but hey, I live in Wales. It was cold. It was like 6 degrees somewhere. Late 30s, early 40s for you Americans. And a parrot comes in on this bloke's shoulder.
What?
Like a full-on bright green living parrot. Bloke just casually walks in with it on there, doesn't question it. All of the staff are like, what the hell is going on? What? Apparently this parrot has anxiety, so it cannot be left alone. So he was just in a tech shop looking at house phones. So yeah, what's the most interesting thing that's happened to you guys in work, or the most ridiculous, like, what the hell's happening? Gator, this might take you a few hours because Florida.
Oh my God.
Love the show. Love you all. Bye.
Thanks, Hades. Love you, brother. Yeah. Interesting question. What do you think, Scarlet? Think of something from work that's been a little out there? Experience?
Yes.
Perfect.
Actually, a couple summers ago, we actually had a dog walk in our building, just on a leisurely stroll. Just walked through the shop like it lived there.
No collar? Nobody was chasing it or anything?
No, it just walked in and we're just like, the hell is this?
Huh.
Who do you belong to?
This is in like a factory, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just like summer, we had our doors open.
Uh-huh.
Dog just wandered right in.
Wow.
We've had birds and stuff fly inside also.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's the most like off the wall thing I've ever witnessed at work.
That's what makes life interesting, right? Little things that make you go, Yeah, you're right, Hades. I can go through a lot of stories. I mean, I'm in the pest management company business, and my God, the experiences I could tell you. I'll tell you this one. I was at a house doing the regular pest control, inside the garage and around the house and stuff. And I went into the garage and I smelled something. I was like, what is that? That just smells nasty. And I'm looking around, and I look through cracks and crevices, and I'm always looking around behind stuff. I look behind, in Florida. I don't know how it is in the UK or even up there in Ohio, Scarlet, but we have almost everyone has a refrigerator in their garage in Florida. We don't have enough refrigeration, I guess. There's a shortage of refrigeration in Florida. So everybody has an extra refrigerator in their garage, including myself. And, I looked behind this refrigerator, and sitting right there was probably a teenage possum. All nasty, laying on its back, looking up. And as soon as I looked back there, all I heard was, that's what they do. Sorry for the noise. That's what they do to ward people off. They have crazy claws and they have some sharp teeth. That didn't stop my dogs one time, by the way. They yanked one out of a hole in my backyard and played tug of war with it until it didn't breathe anymore. But that's another story. So yeah, that's one of the weirdest things I've had happen at work. One of probably 100 I can think of right now, top of my head. But that could be a podcast all in itself. The crazy adventures of being in the pest control industry. So there you go. That's a crazy thing that happened at work. Now, I will tell you this. I'm going to pull a boost here. Fun fact. Do you know where helium comes from, Scarlett?
I do not.
I was working today and I was talking to a client. We were just small talk. And he goes, I'm in the balloon business and helium prices have been crazy. And I'm like, what do you mean crazy? I mean, they're balloons. He makes those Nylar balloons, for parties and stuff. That's what he does for a living. I think he works from home doing it. It's a pretty cool business, to be honest. He says helium prices have just been fluctuating so badly. I'm like, why? It's just helium. He goes, well, I don't know if you know this, but you know where helium comes from? A majority of helium comes from Siberia. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why do we have to get helium from Siberia? That does not make sense. Can't we just make it in a factory somewhere? Just make helium, right? Well, helium, I don't know if you knew this, it's one of the only elements. It's the most plentiful element in the universe, except on Earth. The only way they can get helium, it's a natural gas that is trapped beneath the earth. And as stuff starts to crack and open up and create caverns and stuff, they detect this helium that builds up in these caverns and they mine it. They literally suck it right out of the cavern. And, they used to use helium to fill the dirigibles and stuff back in the early days, back when Warcry was just a boy. I just kid. It was well earlier than that. The dirigibles, the big blimps that they flew around everywhere in World War II. Hell, even maybe World War I too. Yeah, World War I they had them. And when those went away, Russia had no use for helium anymore, so they decided to sell it to the other parts of the world. And that just happens to be what we put in our party balloons, They found that in, I think, Texas, wherever they drill for oil is where they typically find helium. It's like something that's right alongside of oil reserves when they're drilling. So they're finding, they found some helium reserves in Texas, and there's another place somewhere else in the world. I can't remember where he told me, but this is where we get helium to fill party balloons. I never knew this. I thought that there was just a helium factory somewhere that put the two gases together and created helium, right? I bet you'll never look at party balloons ever the same again after that. So there's a fun fact. Did you know that, Scarlett?
I did not.
Isn't that crazy?
I definitely did not know that. That is crazy.
There's a crazy thing, Hades, that happened to me at work today. There you go. There's a bonus one for you, buddy. Thanks for sending your voicemail in, sir. All right, let's get back to some Destiny questions here. Why don't you go through the non-Destiny ones, and I'll go through the Destiny ones. I am on a mission to reset this channel, man. So I'm going to look at Destiny questions here. You look through some non-Destiny ones, and we'll get to those. We have 3 questions left from Hades in the Destiny questions, and then I can retire this channel and start fresh. The first one from January of this last year. Not this year, last year. Question for the show. How long do you normally end up chatting BS in the Discord when you sit down to play? Normally takes me at least half an hour to remember I was going to play something. How long does it take you, Scarlett, when you sit down and get into a voice channel in our Discord? How long does it take you before you actually say, oh, let's go play something?
Usually when I get on in a Discord channel, we have something planned for that night.
Right. But do you sit there and BS before it happens, or do you go right into it?
We sit there and BS if maybe 5-10 minutes, but it's never usually that long.
Okay. I'm always late usually, so it's usually pretty quick for me. Usually everybody's waiting for me to get into the party to jump into a raid or something. But for me, I'm kind of introverted like you, Scarlet. I don't talk a whole lot. When I join voice channels, it's kind of awkward for me. I'm kind of quiet until someone speaks up. So small talk is probably 5 to 10 minutes for me, and then we move right in and play, and then we bullshit, right? Then we BS once we're playing a raid or something, which is what makes fun. Question for the show from Hades: if you put a glacial grenade on a Titan big ass wall of ice in the way of a portal like the ones in Vault of Glass, would it stop people from being able to get through? So you're wanting to, what I'm hearing here, Hades, is you're wanting to troll people and not let them pass through an opening in Vault of Glass? Is that what you're... Let's just forget that question. Last question.
No. I was going to say...
All right, go ahead.
You're giving me an idea of what I'm going to do to price this next time we run...
Okay. I want to hear it.
Vault. No, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just throw a glacier grenade so she can't get through the portal.
So do you put a Titan wall behind it so it's a little more beefy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wear hoarfrost.
Oh, there you go. Make it a glacial wall. Perfect.
I actually got her in Chaos Room when we're running to the pod.
All right. I got an assignment for you, Scarlet. Next time you're raiding with Princess, I need you to do that. I need you to just clip it for me, okay? Send it to me and I'll play it. I'll share it in the Discord. I got to see this. Anytime we can give Princess grief, I'm all in on that, man.
I got her in Deepstone a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
I put it on my TikTok.
With the Sparrow? Was it the Sparrow area?
No, it was when we were running after the Chaos Room.
Oh, the final room that everyone tries to keep me from getting into? What a troll.
I got her in Zimzor.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, you guys. I'm telling you. All right, last question from Hades, and then I can retire the Destiny Questions channel. Man, it took a long time to do this. Question for the show. If you could tell 10-year ago you watching that Become Legend trailer for Destiny 1, one thing about this mad game, what would it be? Just one. It's kind of like telling your new light self something. You didn't play Destiny 1, but I
would have told myself to play it.
Yeah, I saw this Become Legend trailer in E3 the year before it came out. Do you imagine seeing that Become Legend trailer and not being able to play the game for an entire year? That year took forever to pass. I was playing anything to keep my mind off of it. I went back to even played some Call of Duty. I think I played some, I even went back and played the latest Dynasty Warriors. I played some RTS games. I never played so many games in 1 year because I did not want to think about not having to play Destiny. That's how much I look forward to this game, man. I feel like this game was made for me. It's everything. It has the gun handling, the story, the worlds, the space magic, all of it. It was just what I was needing at the time in my life when I was gaming. Last question. It's a follow-up. Which was your favorite live trailer? I love the one with the Law of the Jungle poem. You remember the Destiny trailers? You remember one that was memorable?
I don't think I've actually seen a live Destiny trailer.
Really?
Unfortunately.
My God, I'm deleting the post. Boom. Done. That felt good. It would be the one with Cade when he's drinking at the bar. It was a Destiny 2 trailer where he was like, everything was getting shot around him and he was just sitting there at the bar, like having his last drink before the world went to shit. I don't remember what they called that trailer, but that is definitely one I remember. He was such a fantastic character back in the early days of Destiny 2. So yeah, that would be mine, Hades. Okay. Let's do a few non-Destiny questions here. Did you find one, Scarlet, you wanted to ask?
Oda has a lot in here.
He does. And just Oda, you have to he's very concentrated. His questions run very deep. So you have to kind of pick carefully on his questions. I mean, I love them for putting all these questions in. I do. But just keep in mind, some of these questions can really go off the deep end.
All right. Question for the show. You get $1 billion tax-free if you can beat either prime Mike Tyson or prime Bruce Lee, but only $100,000 if you lose. Who are you fighting, and would you win?
And who's it from again?
Oda Yukimura.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I'm fighting Bruce Lee because I feel like he'd show mercy even if I would get my ass kicked.
See, I was thinking the other way around. Mike Tyson's uppercuts were brutal, and they usually knocked you out. So I would probably just take one of those uppercuts and be knocked out instantly and just collect my $100,000 check, because there's no way I'm beating any of those.
Bruce Lee would do the same thing with his roundhouse kick to your head.
He could, but you said he was going to show mercy, which means he could just toy with you forever. Bruce Lee was like that, man. He was very cocky. I don't know if he would, maybe. He might show mercy. But I'd rather take a quick uppercut to my chin and worry about fixing my jaw afterwards with $100,000 check. That's what I would do. Oda Yukimura.
And no, I would not win.
No, I think that's a given. We're not winning that fight, even if it was $1 billion. I had one here from Average Destiny 2 player. It was a pretty interesting question. You've just opened a yogurt. Are you licking the lid?
No, I'm throwing it in the trash because I don't like yogurt.
So this is what separates us from the animals. We don't lick lids of yogurts. We don't do that, Average Destiny 2 player. So no, I'm not licking the lid. I immediately throw it in the garbage can. That's like yogurt jizz. It's like what's come to the top of the yogurt and kind of dried to the top lid. No, I'm not licking it. Would you lick it, Average Destiny 2 player? His other question was, what is one habit that annoys you the most? For me, it's when people talk on the phone and eat. Good questions. What's one habit that annoys you the most, Scarlett?
Pretty much the exact same thing he just said, except for I came across a streamer who was eating chips, and I was like, yep, not watching you, because I can't stand the crunching sound.
My wife hates it when I'm in the movie theater and I'm eating some kind of candy or popcorn or something, and I accidentally have my mouth open for a few seconds. She's very sensitive to it. For me, annoying habit. I really don't mind when people smack if someone's eating when they're in a group. Yes, it's annoying, but it's not going to tilt me. What really annoys me is mic noise. Like if someone comes into a game and has a headset on and has like a faulty cord or something, and you hear this super high pitch, like this little squeak noise that keeps interrupting or keeps jumping on and off when they're talking. I have tinnitus. I already have high ringing in my ears, so it just sets me off. So I guess you can call me an audio snob, but I can't stand it when I get this high shrieking pitch noise from a cord in a gaming headset or a mic or whatever, where there's a shorted cord or something and it just creates this little high pitch. I can't explain it any better than that. It's just like this little, like, eek, 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 eek. It's very intermittent, and you're trying to block it out, but you just can't. My brain just goes right to it. So there you go.
I know exactly how you feel. I'm the same way with, like, if the person's mic is too close to their mouth and you can hear their, like, every breath.
Yep. All right, let's go out with this one. This is from Hades. Hades seems to be the theme tonight. So good on you, brother. Good on you, Hades. This is the Hades show. Question for the show. What are you up to tomorrow? What are you up to tomorrow, Scarlett?
Basketball games for my son and my daughter.
Oh, both are in basketball?
Yep.
Very nice.
It's kind of painful to watch second graders play basketball, though.
I used to go watch my son play in the church league, and we were the last place team. I don't think we won one game. You know what's really funny is I used to play on a church basketball team, and we were terrible too. We got our butts kicked. The teams we played against just run circles around us. And back then I was a tall 13-year-old. I was much taller than most everyone else. I sprouted early, I guess you could say. I was 185 pounds and probably 5'9" when I was 13. I was already pretty tall for my age. So everyone threw me out on the basketball team. And I was like, I don't play basketball, guys. I play baseball. That's what I play. Oh, here's basketball. You're a basketball player. I even tried out for my junior high team. I almost made it because I really worked hard. I really hustled to try to make that team, but I just didn't know enough about the game. I love shooting the ball. I love just shooting hoops in the driveway, you know, you have a hoop at the house and you just are out there. We used to play till it got dark out. We'd sit there and just shoot, play horse or cat, or just shoot, just 1v1 each other. And it was a lot of fun. Good exercise too. But, yeah, that would have to be.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of around the world.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. But what am I doing tomorrow? Funny you should ask. I don't know if you listen to the latest Potato Thumbs podcast, but Mr. Fluffy Fingers MD is getting a whole new setup. I don't know if that means computer or what, but I think he's getting a new mic, a new mixer board and stuff. And he's going to be, he said over the weekend he's going to be working on that. I'm going to kind of be doing the similar thing. I have another PC that's just sitting here, and I have a third monitor. I got the brackets to have a third monitor, or like a double monitor bracket with a single monitor next to it. I'm going to get that hooked up tomorrow. So when I stream, I can look at the chat strictly on that monitor and see what everyone's talking about. Cause when I have two monitors, I'm playing on one screen and trying to look over at the other. Sometimes I get lost, trying to figure out where everyone's been talking. So I'm going to be setting up that third monitor tomorrow for my streaming setup. And I also have a Stream Deck that I got for Christmas that I have not yet hooked up. And, old guys in technology, it takes them a while to figure stuff out. So I'm going to learn how to use that tomorrow. That's what I'm doing tomorrow, Hades. What are you doing tomorrow, brother? Hey, everyone. Thanks for your questions tonight. Hey, we got rid of a channel. Imagine that. I'll have a brand new Destiny questions only channel that I'll make, come next week, or actually tonight. If you want to put some questions in there, Destiny questions that you have. Or we still have the non-Destiny questions channel. We still have a lot in there. So if you want to send us a question, whether it's for Destiny or not, or just a life question or something, we have those in there. And of course, I have the channels strictly for our guest of the week that I'll have open up at the beginning of the week as well. So if you have a question for our guest coming up, it's all announced in our Discord. So just looking for our announcements. I usually ping everyone when that happens, just to let everybody know what's going on. So hang in there and tune in for that. Mr. Elmer Fudd Games. Play that intro music, sir.
Oh, listen to the Guardian Downcast. Oh, it's a playlist. Yes. Oh, and I've heard they've won awards for it and such.
Thank you, Mr. Fudd. Loving that podcast, brother. This is the final segment of our show where we pick our song choices for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. A little sample playlist, I say little in quotes, of what myself and our guests have been listening to and choose when they're on the show with us. So just search for Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, and we have the link also for Apple Music. Like I said, the links are in our show notes down below if you want to follow along and see what we pick every week and see what we have in our playlist. Just hit that shuffle button and see what pops up. You might even guess who put it in there. We now have 1,182 songs representing all of us and all of our past guests. It's the songs we've been picking since our show began back in July of 2019. So, kind of like a time capsule, if you will. I'll start with you, ScarletKm. What'd you pick for tonight and why, sir?
I picked a song by the band that got me into metal. I was going to grab one of the songs that actually hooked me into this genre of metal.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was listening to it, I was like, oof, the timing is all over the place. And so I'm going to pick one of their other songs that sounds better production value and all that.
I listened to it. It was really nice. It's a cool song, man.
The band's called Zao, and the song is Ravage Ritual.
That's what got you into metal. That's the band?
That is.
Okay.
Back in 7th grade.
Wow. What year does that date back to? I mean, what this song you picked, what does that date back to? Remember what year it was released?
1998 when this song came out.
During the grunge?
So 97 was...
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, as I mentioned in the past shows, I've been deciding for the month of February that I'm going to choose songs from my childhood. And today's pick is a pop band from my youth. It was actually, we're talking about me being 13 years old. This is middle school for me. It was probably one of my first syntho pop music artists I ever discovered. Like I said, I was just a teenager when this song dominated the radio. It's all you heard on the radio all the time. It's still a great song today. I play it and it just puts me in a good mood. It's the band from Sheffield, UK. I think you guys know someone who's from Sheffield, UK? That's a trivia question. Who in our Discord, who possibly has problems jumping puzzles in raids, lives in Sheffield? Let me know in the show feedback channel. Yeah. It's Human League. And the song is Don't You Want Me from the 1981 album, Dare. After listening to the song, you'll understand why I've kind of been influenced with synthesized music up to now. This is my roots, man. This is back when a tape deck was all the rage. Record players were kind of going out and it was all about tape decks and boom boxes and all that good stuff. I know I'm dating myself. I don't care. Hey, Guardians, would you like to give back to our community? If you received any value from today's podcast episode and would like to give back, head over to our website, GuardianDowncast.com, and select the Patreon button to see what extra perks and benefits you can get from the several tiers of membership available. If you would like to give a one-time donation, click on our PayPal button and follow the prompts. Our community runs on our membership, and we never accept outside sponsors or advertisers. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. All right. Some announcements before we go tonight. I want to give a shout out to our patrons. These people single-handedly keep our Discord, all our community giveaways, all the stuff that you enjoy in our Discord, our boost, everything. That's all due to people in our Discord who give boost and also our patrons. So I want to give a shout out to our Dungeon Champion patrons. That is Smiter, Technical, Wicked Trinity, and Deadpool 1 Merc. A thank you to our Raid Boss patrons. This is our max level. This would be Jealous, Frostbite, TL Tim. Sorry, Laz. Amazing Taco King, Sith Daddy Fresh, and Mr. Nico, aka Jersey. Thank you, everybody who gives back to our show and community. I'm very humbled. I love you guys. Thank you very much for going that extra mile to give back to our community. We just had our first video bonus content out this week. So check your notifications. Another video episode comes out next week from our roundtable episode. I got great feedback. People were loving the roundtable episode we recorded last week. Well, what you don't know is we recorded that live with cameras on. And as a part of the new Patreon goals that I have set forth for this year, you're going to be hearing the pre-show on video. I think I'm going to divide it up into 3 parts because, we have 4 different topics that we all talk about, but then we have a little bit of post-show and stuff. So I'm going to try to keep it to about an hour, maybe a little less of the show piece. And I'm going to release it every week starting next week. And then by the time the next roundtable episode comes out in middle or late March, I'm going to be recording all of our roundtable episodes at full video. So it's going to be all unedited, not cleaned up like it is in the audio podcast that you hear. So here's what I need from you guys, you Patreons out there. Let me know if this is something you want in the future, because it takes a little work to put it together. And if you you're not jiving with the video episodes, then tell me and we'll put my energies somewhere else. So, starting next week, we'll have part 1 of our roundtable episode, all on video and unedited. So I'm sure I've said some stupid crap that you guys will hear. And just let me know what you guys think, okay? Another thing I want to mention, too, is you can actually join as a free member of our Patreon if you want to kind of get a preview of what being part of our Patreon community is all about. So it's patreon.com/support Guardian Downcast if you want to join free and see what it's all about. I want to give a congrats to JohnBoy2824. He won our Valentine's Day contest. We had a ton of members post their pictures of themselves and their special someone. So thanks again to all that participated. I really love seeing the faces to the gamer tags out there. And I just put my before and after pics in there, and everyone else started doing the same thing. And man, it was just very touching to see everyone who participated in that. So thank you for doing that. I now use the Wheel of Names app. That's how JohnBoy2824 was chosen, just to keep things transparent and fair for everyone going forward. I'm actually going to take a video, probably during our roundtable episodes or maybe a little after, on future contests. And that way you will see the full video of me pressing the button to spin the wheel and then seeing whose name gets picked. So stay tuned. We do have a question of the month coming back soon. I've had some input on some questions of the month that people want to ask. So I'll be probably starting that up in March again. So stay tuned to that. And because we've had such great feedback on our roundtable episodes, if you want to be heard and even possibly come on the roundtable episode, you need to enter your story or ideas in our Submit Stories channel in our Discord. When you enter that in there, that kind of puts a little bead on my radar that of what you want to talk about. And if you don't want to be on the show, you just want to throw a topic out there that you want to hear about, you want us to debate or talk about, you can do that as well. So, I'm just encouraging everyone to put their ideas in the Submit Stories channel in our Discord, and we'll see what happens. Shout out to our moderation team, as always, in our Discord. Without these awesome people, like Mr. ScarletKm here, who donate their time, by the way, for free, because they love the community and the people inside it. So without these guardians, we wouldn't be able to fully operate the Discord. You know, as most of you guys know, I have a business I operate during the day, and I'm not always around in the Discord. I'd like to be. I'd love to be in the Discord all day, but these fine people keep an eye on things and help people out when they join the Discord, welcome people that join the Discord. So if you ever have a question, just at community moderation, and within probably minutes, someone will respond to you. Well, that's a wrap. Another episode in our collection. For our listeners out there, we have 239 other episodes. Like I said, we had a great show last week with Trash Panda, Ronan Redline, and Admiral Nips in our first roundtable episode. So stay tuned for the next one coming up. But we have all kinds of back episodes. If you want to hear the interviews from our past guests, we have all those archived at our website, guardiandowncast.com. And do me a favor, if you know someone who's coming back to Destiny, share the show with them. Let them know what it's all about. Let them check it out. And, and give us a review too. That'd be nice as well. You can do that from our website also. Mr. ScarletKm, thank you, sir, for coming on the show tonight, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Thanks, man. Like I said, I've been a terrible friend. I really didn't know a whole lot about you, but now I feel I know a little bit more about you now. So thanks for agreeing to come on the show. And if people were wanting to contact you on the interwebs, how might they find you?
At TheScarletKm in all the Owl Sector Discords, and I mainly am around here in GDC.
That he is. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your service in the Discord as well, sir. Appreciate that.
It's a pleasure.
You can contact me via Twitter X at Todd the Gator. That's 2 D's and GATR. I'm on Steam, PS5. That's where I game the same way. I have a YouTube channel, Todd the Gator, spelled the same way. I have a second podcast called the Destiny Help Desk, which comes out about every 3 to 4 weeks. It's kind of a supplement to the Guardian Downcast. And, we deep dive into certain topics in the game Destiny. And, it tends to have a leaning toward helping new and returning Guardians. But I think a lot of these episodes now that I have coming out can apply to anybody. And like I said, sometimes we just talk about subjects in the game that you may want to chime in on. So, check it out. It's the Destiny Help Desk. You can find it on, wherever you're finding this podcast, you can find Destiny Help Desk as well. Well, Scarlet, like I mentioned earlier, before we go, our space lawyer, Better Call Laz, he, I'm legally obligated. Anytime he sends a message or a voicemail to the show, I have to play it. So without further ado, Better Call Laz.
Whoa. All right. Obviously this is Laz. You better call Laz. It's weird calling myself that. It's my name, but it's weird calling me that. So now it says max duration 3 minutes. What is this? It was 5 minutes like a couple weeks ago.
I don't know.
This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyways, so class action lawsuit against Alexa. Wait, hold on. Is she listening right now? Okay, no, she's not listening because I'm in a 2012 vehicle, which means it is not equipped with the most recent editions of AI sort of stuff. So Alexa's not in here, thank goodness. Yes, so Mr. Monkey brought to my attention via, Brittany tagged me with Mr. Monkey's concern that Alexa appears to be discriminating against British folks. Now, I don't know if it's because she just doesn't like the Brits. I don't know if it's because she has selective hearing. I don't know if it's because of the accent. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on who you talk to. And to be completely honest with you, I'm sick of it. She's been ignoring me for years, and I understand now her name is Alexa. Maybe I was accidentally calling her Alexandria or something like that. It's possible. I don't pay attention to this shit. No one cares. So I will be drawing up some paperwork for that. I will be sending it to Amazon, and I will also be sending it to their sister branch, the Amazon branch in the Cosmos. Their name is just the infinity sign, so not really sure how to pronounce that. They made that choice, so that's up to them. In other legalese news, TL Tim should be expecting some cease and desist paperwork in the mail after he and his little PvP team just absolutely stomped all over Team Ramrod, which consists of myself, Mr. Brightside, and Stormcrow. It was completely unnecessary. And I will state they brought in a sub. One of their teammates couldn't show up. They brought in Technical, who stomped us. So, a little sore about that. A little butt hurt. But you know what? I'll get over it eventually. As of this immediate moment, there are no other legal issues sitting on my desk. My Discord remains open. My email remains open. My Spacebird mail remains open. You know, it's like the old carrier pigeons, except you use phoenixes. Problem with that is that the letters tend to burn up on passage because phoenixes are made of fire. So maybe let's find a way to not send flammable letters. That'd be better. In the meantime, as always, you can always find me in the Discords. Tag me if you need me. I'm there for legal help, as always. And that's about it. So until next time, you better call Laz and pay your damn bills.
Oh yeah. Checks in the mail, Laz. Always, brother. Always.
If he could clean his filing cabinet, he'd be able to find it quicker.
Exactly, man. I know. He has some organization issues. Edna's not helping either. She's so lazy, man. Anyway, I'll edit that out. Don't worry. Remember, we have Uncle Scumdeath also tonight. He has, he's got an interesting Scumdeath corner tonight. So I will just say,
is he drunk again?
I don't know. Hard to say. I think he's always drunk. I don't know. I'll let that out. Uncle Scumdeath, what is going on in the UK today, brother?
Hello, welcome to Scumdev's Corner. Gator, you are correct. I do have a new mobile device, so these should come through a little bit clearer. The last phone I bought, I paid £100 for it, so it wasn't very good. But yeah, I've had a nightmare last couple of weeks, really. Motorbike has been leaking a little bit of coolant. So I investigated and found a hole in my radiator. This was about 3 weeks ago. And so I was like, oh, what do I do? I spoke to my local mechanic and he said, get some like rad weld. You know, you chuck it down, chuck it in the radiator, and it's supposed to seal it. So for the last 3 weeks, that's been perfect. You know, I've no drippage whatsoever. So the other day, I thought, I've stopped at traffic lights and I could smell this sort of smell that I recognise. I'm like, oh, let's have a look. So I have a quick look underneath, a quick eyeball down, and yeah, red fluid leaking out of it again. Nightmare. So I got home and I took the side off. You have to take the sides off to have a little look.
The fairings.
The fairings, obviously, to look at what you look at the internals. And I thought, what's that? Oh, no, there's an oil leak as well. So it's leaking out of the oil filter. So I've had the oil filter replaced and all new oil put in. And so it's still pissing out of coolant. So now I've had to buy a new radiator. I mean, it's not too bad, actually. A brand new radiator. Apparently it's better than the actual Suzuki stock one. So only cost me $100. So that's not too bad. But I think the fitting is going to be a bit of a nightmare. That's going to cost me a fair old bit. But, you know, you got to do it in your mode of transport. That's what gets me to work. And so it's just like, oh, it's not too bad. But I suppose all your American trucks and that, if you had a bit of a coolant leak or a busted radiator, I suppose it would cost you. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to ask a question here. So, Gator, if your massive truck's radiator blew, how much would it cost you to get that repaired? Yeah, I'm thinking for me, maybe £100 for the radiator, £200 for fitting, maybe something like that, £300 job. Happy days. I'll be happy with that. But yeah, I'll be quite interested in knowing how much it would cost for you guys, because your stuff is way bigger than our stuff. Anyway, love you all. Take care. Ciao. Be 3 minutes. Bye.
Your stuff is bigger than our stuff. That's a soundbite. Okay, to answer your question, Uncle Scumdeath, man, he's had the worst luck with this bike. My truck has 3 radiators because it's a turbo diesel truck. So I have an intercooler, I have a regular radiator, and I actually have a transmission radiator on the outside of it. The main radiators really aren't as expensive as you think. I would say probably, if I was to buy it from the dealer, probably $500 to $800 probably for a brand new replacement. But you could go to these radiator shops and get one for probably $200-300, maybe upwards, maybe a little higher than that. But thank God I've never had to replace a radiator in this truck yet. It's fairly low miles, but it's an old truck, but has low miles on it. So I'll have to see. But yeah, there you go. I'm answering your question. Thank you, Uncle Scumdeath. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hey, remember everyone, as you're playing Lightfall, Season of the Wish, the long extended Season of the Wish, remember to take breaks and get outside and touch grass. Panda, I see you, man. You're always chirping. Take a break, brother. Take a breath, man. Hey, everyone, remember we're Guardian Downcast, your stories, your community, your destiny, and be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destinyverse.
Defeat is not surrender, Guardian.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Deuces.
Nice. Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a very smooth show. Very nice, man.
Yeah,
How'd you think you did?
I think it did better than I thought I was going to.
Was this your first podcast?
Other than when you had that live one.
The live one, right? Yeah. Yeah, but it's just you and me tonight. The live one had.
Yep, I enjoyed it.
Nice. I think you did a good job, man. Your mic's perfect.
Thank you.
You sound great. You sound like a professional with that mic, man. So, yeah, good on you, man.
I also got an actual laptop. Last time I was on my Chromebook, so I couldn't set the Ethernet cable in it.
Yeah, there's limitations.
And then,
yeah,
I'm glad that I sound better this time.
Oh yeah, you sound real good. You, like I said, now you can get a decent mic. I mean, I podcasted for probably the first 3 years on an ATR 2100 mic. You can get it on sale for $50. You can get a Q2U, a Samsung Q2U mic, which I post the link in the Discord, or not in the Discord, on the website. It's an affiliate link, so it goes back to the community if you buy one. But if you look at that mic, you can get it on sale for sometimes as low as $40. I'm telling you,
I think that's what I got it for.
Yeah,
that's the one I have. Or like QLU or something like that.
Yeah, QU2. These are the two mics that are kind of the entry to podcasting mics. And for let's just say $40 to $80, you can get a mic that'll last you forever. I mean, you probably know this thing is pretty good. Player support report. Scarlet, what's going on at the player support report for this week?
Oh, just broken.
Thank you, sir.